Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous, episode 281. I'm your host Rico, here with my co-host
Dane Cody.
Dane Cody, and I get together once a week to talk about video games, TV, movies, and or whatever the hell we like, primarily video games. Welcome everyone. Thank you for tuning in, downloading, however you consume this fine podcast. We appreciate you being here and spending your quality time. It's not like you can really do much else right now. Probably on lockdown, really bored, trapped with us.
What are you talking about? There's always video games to play. People are taking time out of not playing video games to listen to our asses, then thank you, because there's always lots of video games to play.
That's the thing. You can listen to us while you play video games.
Or driving your car.
Apparently, you can listen to podcasts on the PS5 in the background, so...
What?
Wink, wink. We're on Spotify, so if you're really desperate for some background noise,
Shit,
I
dog.
assume you could do that on your PS5 pretty easily. Well,
hashtag game changer.
If you have never been here before, we usually start the show off with our BS section, which we are knee deep in. Get into some housekeeping. What you've been playing, where Dane and I run around, where Dane and I talk about the games we have played since last we sat down and chatted, and then we get into some news and stuff, public service announcements, and our free for all section. Man, we got a lot of games again.
All the video games.
Lots of new systems. Dane got his PS5 finally after the ordeal of having to hunt it down, leave the house, go pick it up.
It was a whole thing. It was dumb. The delivery guy didn't even try to deliver it to my house. Just straight into the truck, scanned it into the truck, and then scanned the little piece of paper that was like, I ain't even going to try and fucking deliver this thing. It's going straight to the post office. It pissed me off. Yeah. There was a little part of me that was tempted when I got that at 6:30 in the morning. There was a part of me that was tempted to bring one of my stupid camping chairs down to the lobby of my building and just set up down there with bring my Vita or bring my Switch and just sit there and wait for that fucker and be like, all right, I know it's on your truck because you haven't dropped it off at the post office yet. Now bring it in here. Actually deliver it to my ass.
I'm pretty sure he skipped every delivery in that building. To be honest, I don't. Well, was he Canada Post?
Yeah, because that's the thing. He put the little notice thing in my mailbox, so I know it was on his truck.
You know what?
He just didn't even bother trying to deliver to me.
If it was UPS or one of the Amazon delivery companies, I wouldn't have put it past him to just not deliver it to your house for time's sake, because he's a piece worker and he just wants to be quick and fast, and it's like, fuck it, I have 20 packages in this building, there's never any fucking parking here, it's always a pain in the ass, the buzzer never fucking works, I waste more time here, get behind, and fuck up my whole day. So from that aspect,
they always
I
park
get it
in the cul-de-sac beside our building.
Yeah,
leave their little blinkers on, boop 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 boop, and then they just run in here and do their shit.
You just got B Squad. Fuck
yeah.
You know what? It's a little better than I was listening to Sacred Symbols.
Okay.
And Chris, the co-host on that show, his PS5 was delivered to the completely wrong building.
What?
Yeah, and I think he was in New York.
Wow.
And he only recognized the other building because of the photo, it's delivered photo. He recognized the
no way.
So he had to sneak into the other building as someone was leaving to get his PS5. Otherwise, imagine the uphill battle. He would have been like, no, you motherfuckers didn't deliver it to me. So then he found it in their mailroom, his name, he didn't gank someone's PS5. It was his PS5. It was his delivery.
Man, I'd be so pissed.
Wow.
Anyways, I was choked because I knew he didn't even bother to try and deliver it to me. All he did was stick the little notice in my mailbox. So then I kept checking my email because that's the thing. The notice
did come to your building.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because he was the fucking mail guy.
When did he leave the card at your building?
I don't know. It must have been around 10, 11 in the morning.
He should have had the packages.
Well,
that's not necessarily true, because in my neighborhood, there's a girl who delivers the mail, and then there's someone else who delivers the parcels. So sometimes it's two different people.
So I don't like. So yeah. So anyway, so that may have been what happened. All I know is like I was checking my tracking information all day, refreshing the website to make sure that because the thing is like on the notice that they left me, it says like you can pick your package up tomorrow after 1 p.m. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So I was not thrilled about that. So, but I kept checking the email or the tracking information, and around 3 o'clock later on that day, I got the thing that said like you can pick up your package. It's been delivered to your like post office. So I bounced over there and I managed to get it. So.
Nice. And they weren't snots about you being early.
Well, no, because I checked before I left, right, to make sure. Like, they would have been snots, obviously, if I was early and it wasn't there. They would have been like, "It's not fucking here, dude. Like, I don't know what the hell you want from me."
So how did you know it was there when you went?
That's what I said. I checked the tracking information, and it said like it has been delivered to the post office. You can pick it up now.
I haven't missed a package in a long time, so I didn't know it showed that step that it's been delivered to the pickup place.
Look at you, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Well, they leave it at my door for fucking porch pirates to steal.
Awesome.
Not that porch pirates have stolen anything, but I have video cameras and I usually open the garage door remotely, but sometimes
apparently right now it's a huge problem though with all the PS5s and Series X's and stuff.
I could imagine, especially Anyway, speaking of
bigger
I'm
city.
super fucking annoyed with deliveries too because I had a bunch of shit that was supposed to show up today. That I had like 4 things that were going to show up today. One thing was damaged, and they're just like back to sender. I'm like, well, wouldn't you just try to attempt and then I deal with that? Like, if it's just the fucking outside of the box is wrecked, like, it's probably nothing wrong with the product. And it's like, I was so angry. So now there's a delay of an extra week on that item, at least.
Right.
If it's in fucking stock, by the time
maybe you're not even going to get one now.
And then the other things were like just a bunch of fun toys I was getting. They got delayed. Different carriers, and they're all coming tomorrow. I'm like, what the hell? Like, anyway.
Hey, at least they're supposed to come tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, it could be worse. We could have ordered our PlayStation 5s from Costco, and we may or may not have got them today.
Oh, fuck.
Ish.
Well, I think people from Walmart, London Drugs, and Costco and stuff are still waiting for them. Some people haven't even had their like orders updated.
Oh,
some people saying that even with Xboxes, even like
I'd be pretty choked. One of my coworkers, he managed to get a PlayStation 5
before the Xbox.
He managed to get one from like when it launched on launch day.
Yeah,
he got one through Costco.
Mm-hmm.
So he managed to get an order in, and it still hasn't been delivered to him as of yet.
Oh, okay.
That was a week ago. So, and he's still.
I guess if you have an order, it's better than the majority of people because there were some small restocks on launch days for launch day.
Yeah.
For the PS5, there hasn't been any since. I think there
was also some on for the Series X on launch day.
There was some Series X. I saw some Series X notifications go up today from the Microsoft store.
Right.
A bunch of people were saying like their orders went through, but they never got confirmations, and so there's been a bunch of that too.
Oh,
so it's like,
gross.
There might be supply for Black Friday, but I don't know, man. I think it's going to be rough.
It's funny. I had like at least 2 people message me on various social medias like, "Hey, man, did you get a PS5?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got one." And they're like, "Oh, sweet. Where do I get one?"
Yeah,
I'm like,
you got to hook up.
Fucking luck. Like,
one of my coworkers is looking for one.
Yeah.
Someone else is looking for one. It's like, man, I'm sorry, man. I can't help you.
Yeah. The one buddy's like, "Yeah, my kid wants one for Christmas." I was just like, good luck. You better start scrounging the internet. Like,
besides the recommendation I had of joining that Discord last week from that and following L Babbins on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't have any other recommendations like that. You might have to resort to fucking scalpers, but oh well.
Honestly, it's just like part of it is just luck. Like if you get a notification
it's like
at the right time,
that's it. It's like you have to be checking Twitter on your phone.
Yeah,
and the notification goes off. You get one.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't help you that you go and take a piss and have a shower and you run around the house and then you come back to your phone half an hour later. Forget it. They're gone.
No, it's gone.
They're fucking
It's gone.
gone.
I had an opportunity. I had a 3080 in my cart. Like I could have.
Oh, you had the magical disappearing item in the cart game?
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
Just because like I was curious because it went up on like 12 o'clock and I was like, it's 12 o'clock right now. Like it hasn't even been a minute yet. So I clicked the link and sure enough, it was available. I added it to my cart and then it was gone. And I'm not even like looking
That
for a
happened
3080.
with,
I was just curious.
With Jude, he said that happened to him with the Series X. He had it in his cart, and then when he went to go check out, he's like, I was listening to the podcast, and when you said that, and he's like, that fucking happened to me. And I'm like, yeah, it happens to everyone. If you're trying to get a hot item, you've definitely encountered the magical disappearing cart item. Which is fucking, it's so bullshit. But you know what it is? These fucking retailers have no incentive to slow down the purchasing process so that the item's reserved in your cart. Because they don't give a shit. They want the 10,000 units they have coming in sold before it even hits the warehouse. They don't give a shit about the customer experience. They don't give a shit about any of that. They just want it sold. Them writing code to hold items and protect it in your cart. And, that's millions of dollars that they're really never going to see no return on investment. Because at the end of the day, big business doesn't give a shit about any customer service. They pretend they give a shit, but they don't give a flying fuck. Especially when it costs, especially when it costs them money. If they could do it for free, then they might implement something like that. Or if they were forced, like if the Nintendo or Sony or Microsoft forced them, like, oh, do you guys have this functionality in your shopping cart? You guys have queues for hot items? You have reservation systems for hot items? Oh, you don't have that? Well, guess what? Your supply is zero until you add that functionality and can prove to us it works. Until then, it's only direct from Sony, only direct from Nintendo. You know what I mean? That would solve a lot of these problems, but the thing is, it all costs money, and they don't want to.
The fact that Nvidia can't even implement that on their own website, to the point where they were just like, you know what, fuck this, we're done.
Here, Best Buy, you deal with
it. Yeah, exactly. Like we're just not even going to deal with it anymore. Like that tells you.
I will say, Best Buy's US site kind of has a queuing system,
right?
And they don't let you add it to the cart. They release a little bit at a time. But it's not quite. It's not as advanced a system as they just need to go talk to Ticketmaster. As much as Ticketmaster
as much as Ticketmaster's shitty.
They're douchebags because of their fees. But the thing is when you get in, you've got a timer, or even talk to fucking Cineplex, the movie theater guys. When you're buying movie tickets, you have a timer on the screen that shows you, here's your countdown. You got so much time.
You got 7 minutes to finish this. Otherwise, we're going to give these away.
Exactly.
And they go back in the queue.
Not I'm buying this thing and it's like, what do you mean my item's no longer available?
Yeah.
Dane?
Yeah.
I think that was enough of a BS section. Shall we get into some housekeeping real quick?
Yeah, what do you got?
Before we start talking about all these games we've been playing.
Housekeeping?
Join the Discord server, Geekoholics.com/Discord. That's our hangout. That's our chat room. That's our Reddit. That's our everything. That's our forums. Because no need for any of that other shit when you have a good Discord. So come join it. It's good times. It's fun. Voice chat, party up, LFG, play games together, bullshit, make fun of me, stuff like that. It's a good time. Do it. And if you like, you can catch us live on twitch.tv/Geekoholics every Wednesday night around 8:30 usually. Today, on Wednesdays, Pacific time. Today, we're actually on time. We're a little bit early.
Imagine
that. So if you don't want to just listen to the podcast and you want to see our ugly mugs, you can catch us on the twitch.tv/Geekoholics, usually every Wednesday around 8:30 Pacific time. That's it for housekeeping. The Watchdog Legions contest ended. I haven't had a chance to pick the winner yet. I've had some shit going on here. Just been fucking busy week. But I will announce now our next contest.
Whoa.
For a copy of Call of Duty Cold War. Black Ops Cold War.
Ooh, on what platform?
On PlayStation 4. Digital download. Digital code.
Ooh. On PS4.
I'm going to guess. I think it works for PS5 too, I believe.
Okay.
So anyway,
It's one of them. It's
I
one of them
haven't.
magical PS4, PS5 codes that
Yeah.
may or may not work.
It may or may not work. I haven't set up the contest yet. So Geekoholics.com/contest.
Right.
Keep your eyes out. I'll try and get it up tomorrow sometime. I will tweet. No, I will share the link early, obviously, to all our listeners and Discord members.
Ooh.
I'm not gonna do the password thing because I don't pay. This is really like behind the scenes inside
baseball.
The freaking competition app that they have is a company called Gleam.io. It's pretty much everyone uses it for giveaways. It's pretty standardized.
Sure.
But they're thieves. They're highway robbers. So they give you a free version, which, has all kinds of stuff it can do. And then, of course, you want the cool features. It's all behind a paywall. But it's not like
they gotta make money somehow.
It's not like $5 a month or $10 a month. It's like $100 a month. And like, I'm not paying $100 a month to run a contest API. Are you fucking nuts? Like,
I mean, I guess if you're, a big radio station or something, that's pennies. But for somebody like us, it's,
are we a big fucking radio station? No. So
I don't know.
Anyway, so they have we've used the password functionality in the past to give people bonus entries. The problem is it gives people the bonus entries regardless of what they type in there.
Oh, really?
So like some smart
doesn't
asses
actually check it.
No, that's a function of the fucking higher tier subscription of contest fucking service. That will vet answers and invalidate stuff. That there's some cool stuff there, but I can't afford to fucking pay that. So in the past, if you just put anything in there, like some smart asses are like fucking Rick sucks dick, thinking they're fucking funny. No names will be named. They still get the bonus entries, so then it mucks up It mucks up that
chances for everybody
else. The whole
else.
point is to prove that you're a listener and you're more of the tight knit community to get more entries. So the solution is no password, but the solution is I'll be giving another. You'll get if you are a Twitch sub. And you enter the contest, you'll get 150 entries. So you get another 50. Woo! So you'll like triple your chances, if not. Actually, like 150 times the chances of winning compared to just doing all the Facebook likes and all that other nonsense. So, anyway, I'll get that up tomorrow.
Sweet. All right.
And everyone should enter it whether you want it or not. If you win, you have no interest in playing it, and you win, just could be a Christmas gift for someone. And
there you go.
Or maybe you'll know a buddy who wants it. So, I think that's it.
Sweet.
Housekeeping BS section. Let's get into some what you've been playing, Dane, shall we?
Ooh, all the things we've been playing.
Oh, we've been playing the PS5.
Yeah.
And the Xbox and the PC. Mainly PlayStation 5. We had more than 5
we didn't
minutes.
You had your PlayStation 5 for about 30 minutes last week when we did our show.
Maybe an hour.
Yeah. So it's a chunky boy.
She's big. Fits. I should take a picture of mine. It fits good underneath the TV.
So mine is horizontal. I had to move my PS3 and my PS4 out of my entertainment center, and my PS5 slides in there now. So it takes up almost that entire space that those two consoles took up.
Oh, you had them both side by side before.
Yeah, exactly. So those are gone. So it's very large. I will say that. It's very quiet. I appreciate that greatly.
You literally have to put your ear up to it to hear it.
The loud. It's funny. The loudest part about it is the disc drive. Like when I put a disc in, I can hear the disc spin up. If I don't have a disc in there, I don't hear it at all. It's great.
I can hear the fan, but it's just the fan's gonna make noise. But it's just
I don't know that I've ever heard the fan even kick in on mine.
Not in
versus
high gear.
my. That was after playing Astrobot and stuff for a while.
I haven't. Yeah, no, it just has a standard rate that it runs at. It's not.
Compared to the PS4 and the Xbox One, it does not sound like it's gonna lift off and fly around the room and hit you on the head.
The PS4 and the PS4 Pro were pretty fucking loud. The One X was a lot better. The One X was definitely quieter. The
Yeah,
launch
my Xbox
Xbox
One,
is
my
pretty
yeah,
loud.
my launch Xbox One gets pretty loud sometimes when I've been playing it for a while.
My Series
So
X is pretty fucking loud.
yeah, man, that disk drive, holy
Did
cow!
you
That thing,
listen to that video? I think
I
it's
had
just
one of my coworkers come into work and they were like, "What's going on with your buddy's disk drive in his Series X?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I saw the link that he posted. Like, what is that?" I'm like, I don't know, man. I think it was just the one like game, like because you were
It
saying
was just
right
that
under.
disc. To be honest, I remember now having issues with that disc in the old Xbox.
Oh,
So
really?
either that disc is like not weighted properly, or it's too thin, or was something fucked up with the pressing of it.
Interesting.
Because I remember I had issues now, like I hadn't played it in years. Like we're talking two
Sure. Is
Assassin's Creeds ago, right? So 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago.
that Odyssey or Origins?
Origins.
Okay.
And I remember it's like, oh yeah, I had issues with the Xbox fucking crash because it like couldn't find the disc. Like it didn't think a disc was in the system. So
Right.
clearly there must have been something wrong with that disc. So I removed it after, like, I was already committed. It was installing, and I'm like, I didn't want to just
Sure.
pop it out. And I'm like, ew, that sounds fucking terrible.
I know.
Uh, but then
I
I
wonder
put
if,
in,
like, you're not wrong. I wonder if it's like just weighted poorly on one side because if they're not perfectly weighted, right, you get that vibration, and that almost is what it sounds like. What like it was vibrating in the drive.
yeah, and then I put in Red Dead, and it was like quiet.
Oh,
It was
okay.
just the disc spinning sound. Like this, a
Yeah.
disc drive's audible, but not that like weird. Sounded like
No, yeah, it's like
grinding, but like
grinding.
ugh. Hopefully, I didn't wreck my drive. But Red Dead installed perfectly fine.
Okay, well that's
So
good.
I'll have to install some other ones and see, and maybe I should make a warranty claim on it sooner than later.
Um, but yeah, so I received my PlayStation 5 finally. I'm really impressed. The setup was super straightforward. Like if you've got the app on your phone, there's a certain point where you're like, if you like once you kind of do a couple of the like what's your
Oh
language
yeah,
and
you can
things
put
like
your
that,
code in, and it links everything
and then
up.
it's just like I just did the QR code and boom, it just pulled my account information and did a bunch of stuff, and then I was there. It was done. I was like, okay, cool. So that was really nice, smooth. I will say overall, I'm pretty impressed with the interface. I think it's smooth. It's very quick. It's some of the functionalities that they've kind of like hidden in weird ways. I don't know that I appreciate. Like
It's
trying to find,
relearning. It's relearning the language of the system. They changed
yeah,
stuff,
right.
and some stuff they should have just left. But
Yeah, and like they've really minimized that front page. Like when you log in and for the first time, like or you log into your system, it's just like here's your games. That's it. There's like nothing else here. It's just like games, which is like great when you're just like looking to play games. But if you're like before, like I don't know, for whatever reason before, like on PS4 I would like log in, I would see like, oh, so and so's are these are the games that like my friends are playing and like who's logged in, and like now if I don't go looking for that information, it's not there. It's not anywhere remotely like I have to go looking to see like who's online. I have to go looking to see like I got to dig down into the menus to see like my trophies or stuff like that, which felt a little bit strange, but at the same time, I understand that like both of these consoles are coming in hot, and I'm sure that there's a lot of
oh, I'm sure
stuff that they
there's
probably wanted to do that they just never got around to.
yeah.
So at a certain
This
point,
is
they're
like
like, "All right,
let
fuckers, we
let's
got to
get
ship
it
this
done.
thing. What do we got to cut, or what can we like? How do we do this so that we could ship it?" And that's kind of what ended up happening.
Let's get it out
Um,
the door and working
yeah,
and functional, and then the improvements and
exactly.
the easy use stuff is gonna come for sure. Like
And like that's the thing, right? Is like I gotta remember that when the PlayStation 4 launched, like a ton of stuff like they added later, right? Like they've added so much stuff over the last 7 years to that console that it's just that we had more or less a 7 years worth of
yeah,
optimizations and like
updates
additions
and
to it.
major like point 0 versions and We'll
Yeah.
get there.
So
I'm pretty happy. I like how clean it is. I like how
same.
simple it is. It is weird
Yep.
getting used to the, how they changed the power, because before you would hold down the PlayStation logo and just go to power
Yep.
options and turn it off. Now it's like, no,
Yep.
you don't hold it down, you tap it, and then you push down, and then you push left, and then you're in the power. So it's pretty quick
Yeah.
because you don't actually have to hold down. But it's like we're so accustomed to holding. I do it every time. I hold down the
Same.
PlayStation button
Same.
every fucking time. It's like, oh, that's not how you do it. Hit it again. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
No, I know exactly what you're talking about because I've been doing the same thing. I will say, like, when you're in a game and you go back to the dashboard, like before, I was just used to hitting the PlayStation button and going back out of the dashboard, back into my game. That doesn't seem like that works quite the same way. You got to like click back on like play the game. Like
yeah, you actually have to hit the
a little bit
PlayStation
of
button and go down to home.
right. Like so,
Because
it's
when
like
you hit the PlayStation button, it just takes you into the guides and the trophies and stuff.
yeah, it takes you to the command center.
Is that what they call it?
This is the command center.
But it's basically just the hint videos and the trophy info.
Yeah, but also the whole thing at the bottom is like you've got your home, you've got your like trophies and
if
your
you
friends.
if you hit down again, to get into that stuff. But it's like, on the old system, when you just hit the PlayStation logo, you're on the desktop or the home or the dashboard, the media cross, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right?
Cross media bar 2.0, baby. So yeah, so like, I think there are some stuff that I think it needs some work on, but overall I think it's
serviceable. It's like you said,
I like that it's different. I like that it's different. Like it feels new, right? It feels shiny.
Like that was the one complaint I had last week about the Xbox.
Right.
As awesome as the Xbox, the Series X is a powerful, beautiful game running machine. The OS it didn't feel like something new. It was like, this is like Windows 10. Okay, cool. Like, I got a new monitor or a new keyboard or whatever, but it's the same view out the window. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
But
no, I know exactly.
So that was a nice thing of like the PlayStation 5. It's like, ooh, this is like new and shiny. Everything's different for better or worse.
Totally.
So obviously, we both played Astrobot. We both played with
I played through. I beat it.
We played with the DualSense, which is a big part of Astro's Playroom. It's not Astrobot.
Dude.
Everyone calls it Astrobot, but it's Astro's
because
Playroom.
it is Astrobot, but it's Astro's Playroom. It's incredible. It is so much better than any pack-in. Like honestly, it's they most companies seem to have gotten away from adding pack-ins in their systems for years. Like I can't honestly remember the last, like outside of a bundle that you bought, like I feel like they just stopped adding pack-ins at some point. Like,
is that Genesis's fault, or was that after Genesis?
See, that's funny because the pack-in for me with the Genesis was Sonic.
Who started it? It was maybe after that generation, but I feel like it was Sega. It was like, nah, you get one fucking controller, no fucking game. And then Nintendo's like, well, they ain't gonna do it. We ain't gonna do it no more. I swear. Like that's how I remember it. That's how I remember this escalation of the removal of the packing game.
That or it was Sony when they released the PlayStation, and they're like,
I don't know. I can't.
You get a controller.
I can't remember the culprit, but I remember like Nintendo days, like the NES, the Super Nintendo. Right. It was 2 controllers and a minimum of 1 game packed in.
See, and that's funny. I got the original Nintendo, and my parents bought me the $99 one, and it came with 1 controller and no games.
Yeah, see, I think that was like super like late generation though. But like, when the Super Nintendo came out, still 2 controllers and a game.
So yeah, no, and that's the funny thing. My Super Nintendo and my Genesis both had pack-ins when they got purchased. Maybe it was
the generation after that. So anyway,
I'm pretty sure it was.
Astro's Playroom, packing game, showing off the DualSense, like
fantastic,
mind-blowing freaking controller.
It's incredible.
The game could be longer.
Yeah, I mean, yes, the game.
It's 4 worlds, 4 stages in each. Yeah, there's like I haven't done this
3D platformer.
I haven't done the speed run like stuff. Like there's like an online kind of speed run like mode. There's tons of unlockables. It's like super nostalgic trip down PlayStation history memory lane, like the
Oh yeah.
unlockables in the game.
I had
And
the biggest, dumbest grin on my face playing that whole thing, finding all of the like collectibles with all the like PlayStation controllers and Vitas and stupid cameras and multi taps and everything else
yeah,
from my childhood. I was just like smiling and just giggling like an idiot.
it
Oh, ha, 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 this is so
it's a
cool.
super quirky like 3D platformer.
Yep.
There's like suits per se and vehicles, so kind of I guess kind of power ups. Astro
Yeah.
has like a punch attack, a spin attack. He also, when you do your double jump, he hovers by shooting lasers out of his feet. So this is the multiple ways of defeating
Yeah.
enemies. But the whole game, kind of a big part of it is just feeling the world you're in, and with a dual sense. And it's like people have tried to describe this, and you've probably heard it in other podcasts or on websites. Literally, you feel the surfaces he's walking on. You feel raindrops. You feel weight shifting in the controller.
Dude, the raindrop thing, that was the moment to me where I was just like, no fucking way.
The raindrop one is pretty fucking trippy because it's like, what? I'm like
it
feeling this
feels-
on the top of the controller.
Yeah, it feels like raindrops are hitting the controller. Like it feels like you're sitting outside in the rain and you feel them hitting the controller. It's
Did you notice the cool little detail about the raindrops?
which one?
The graphics of them.
Oh yeah.
That the splatters are the sacred symbols.
Yep.
So the rain
Yep.
splashes. I don't know if anyone's gonna notice that because it's such a tiny detail. But the raindrops splash in the square, cross, triangle, circle,
Circle.
which is kind of funny. There's so
But
many
no, like,
little neat
that's-
things like that through the
That's
whole
the
game.
thing, right? It's like everything to do with it is all about PlayStation. Like that's the whole jam, right?
Like, and that's just the vibration. So this controller is capable of vibration throughout the whole controller, from left to right, top to bottom, all
Yep.
around. It can simulate like all kinds of, sensations all over
Yeah.
the controller. It's not just like the classic rumble where it's just the whole thing shakes. Like it shakes fast or it shakes slow. Light or hard. This has directional haptic feedback and like multi.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like it's
I don't
not
know
in
how
one
else to
spot. Like
explain
you said with the raindrops, you feel raindrops all over the top of the controller. It's
Yeah.
unreal. And then the triggers are like resistive triggers. Like
Yeah.
you keep hearing people say that. It's like, okay, well, what's it mean? I was like, well, literally the buttons have no resistance and feel like they're super like free motion. And then
They
all
feel
of
like
a sudden,
regular buttons until
Yeah.
they don't.
and then all of a sudden they have like a resistance, like you're pulling the string or you're pushing a weight, or they just literally like click like they're a mechanical button all of a sudden, which is
It's
how,
wild.
like how does it go from nothing to like clicking to fighting you back to having it's so neat. It's so stupid, but it's neat.
And not only the fact that all of that is just cool as shit, the controller itself feels phenomenal.
Yeah,
Like
it does feel pretty nice.
It's like I loved the DualShock 4. It's a great controller. The DualSense is a better controller. Like it feels better.
I was worried because it's a tad bigger, like a
It
tiny
is
bit
a little
bigger.
bigger.
Not
And
much bigger, but a tiny bit bigger.
I do feel that the face buttons, so like the X, square, circle, and triangle, I do feel that those are a little bit mushier. Like, because what I noticed when I was like mashing on the X button a few times, it felt like I was bottoming it out, and
Yeah.
my thumb was almost like, I don't remember feeling that necessarily on the old one. But like again, small nitpick for how
Yeah,
rad that
and
controller
I
is.
don't mind the way they feel, but
I will say also the battery life when using all of the haptics and everything, it destroys that battery. I will say, battery life when I'm playing other games like that don't use all the crazy features seems better than the DualShock by quite a bit.
yeah,
But
I would
man, you
imagine
start
it's a
using
bigger
the
battery.
cool stuff. Wow, like that. Like I did one session essentially of Astro's Playroom that was a few hours, and I got the like.
But
need
you
to
were
charge your
playing
controller.
that was out of the box charge, right? Not like a full charge that you've charged with the cable after draining it.
That was yes, out of the box telling me it had a full charge,
Mm,
but like it showed the battery being full, but I
yeah,
don't know
I didn't pay
how
that
close
much
to
attention.
being like not full it was.
I've
Um,
heard, between 6 and 8 hours of consistent use. Obviously, on the
yeah,
lower end, if you're playing Astros, because it's literally, it's doing
it
a lot.
uses everything.
But yeah, it's a fun little platformer. You have no excuse to not play it. It's included on the system. It's free. I'm working on the platinum. I'm
It's
getting all,
awesome.
I'm getting all the collectibles. I will say, the hint system is pretty neat if you use it. Um, I'm sorry, but I feel like a lot of these YouTube game fact guys, they're gonna get a lot less views on their videos. At least for PlayStation games, when the devs include the videos, which I don't see why they wouldn't.
Well, it's a lot of
Because
extra work though, man, because that's up to the devs to do.
yeah, but you know what? You've got the QA guys and the gameplay guys testing and collecting and making sure none of this stuff breaks. Now they just record it.
Yeah, you still have to have the resources set aside to
Yeah.
like record it and then put it together
But
and
it's
like
it's a great little feature. Like when you play an
oh,
Astros, I'm
it's
like, I'm
it's
missing a
cool.
puzzle piece. Where is it? You hit the PlayStation button, you go down, it shows you the percentage of the stage you're on. You click the button, and then it's like, are you looking for puzzle pieces? Or are you looking for artifacts? You click the play button, and then it just shows you the video
Yeah,
to the collectible that you're nearest to. It even identifies which one you're closest to
right.
in the game. Like it's pretty cool. Like it's really
That's
neat.
yeah.
Demon
It's
Souls
a
even
cool
uses
system,
it as
man.
well. It's an awesome feature, and I'm so happy because the last thing I hate going on to fucking YouTube. I get torn out of the experience. I'm turning to my computer on my side. I'm
Pulling
messing
up your
around. I'm
phone,
pulling up
trying to
my
figure out
phone.
like
And I'm on a
yeah.
fucking video with a guy with a voice that makes me want to fucking get a nail gun and shoot my ears out. Or I get a video that's not narrated and it's like 10 minutes of bullshit from a live stream that has the thing you're looking for, but it doesn't start at the thing you're looking for, and the video isn't
Trying
really
to
even
fast
about
forward.
that. But then they titled it for that because they know that's what people are looking for, and it's like I never have to watch one of those shitty videos again, and I'm so happy for that.
Well, you don't have to for Sony first party stuff at least.
Yeah, well,
Like I said, I'll be curious to see like how it gets picked up by third parties and with other
it
games.
seems
Obviously,
pretty
it's the new hotness feature, so all of the like Sony stuff's gonna have it, obviously.
seems pretty obvious.
But
Yeah,
we'll see. I'm hopeful, but anything's possible, right?
yeah.
Um, but
It's a
yeah,
great
I
game. It's fun. The controller is
yeah,
awesome.
very impressed. That honestly, like that controller, that was one of the biggest things that feels next gen to me. Like that was such a big like holy shit, this is something new, this is something different, and like I cannot wait to see what other games do with this technology,
Oh yeah,
which is
absolutely.
really
I
cool.
think Miles uses it, but I don't have Miles yet because I've been holding out because I have so many other games to play. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of Miles, I have it. Uh, I can't seem to get the PlayStation 5 version of it to work. I don't know why. I've tried.
you should just buy it, like the system's telling you to. You cheap ass
Yeah,
bastard.
apparently.
You like it so much, you should just buy it.
Yeah, buy the game that I own again. For some reason, I don't know why. For some reason, I haven't been able to get. There seems to be a bug or something, but it's not letting me get the PlayStation 5.
Upgrade, yeah, where it
Yeah,
says like everywhere, PS4 to PS5, no problem.
yeah. So it should be like this. I should hit the three dots and should be able to select the version I want. That's not there. When I go into the store, it asks me to buy it again. When I go to my library, it's asking me. It's the PlayStation 4 version is there, but it doesn't allow me.
That's
So
annoying.
yeah. So I'm trying to work out. I'm in talks with Sony to try and figure out what's going on there, but I haven't been able to, which sucks because I really wanted to play Miles Morales last week
You want
because
to
like
finish
I
it
had
on
all
the
that time
PS5?
off. I
Well,
loaded up my PlayStation 4 one earlier
just
today. I'm at 54% of the way through it right now. I'm like, I wanna like all the weekend I was so close to just like loading up the PS4 version just because I wanted to play it so bad. But I was like, no, I have a PS5. That's the whole point in this.
get
Like,
your platinum in
so,
Playroom. That's what this
yeah,
is enabling you to do. I
there
picked
you
up
go.
Demon Souls.
Okay.
I
I hear that's
am.
real pretty.
Pardon?
I hear it's real pretty.
Oh God, it's gorgeous. It's like, oh yeah, this is a new generation of video games.
Yeah.
You know, um, it's like, holy shit, this game looks good. Like it looks so fucking good. And then you remember it's Demon Souls, and
So then it kicks you in the dink.
and it's out to murder you. Actually, to be honest, I have not died, but that's kind of because I know where I'm treading. Right, I know the early parts of this game. My memory was failing me a little bit because I was like, I had gone so far, and right now I'm walking around with so much souls because I've just been killing all the enemies in the first area, the palace.
Right.
And I'm like, where's the goddamn bonfire?
I need to get rid of some of these souls.
I need to fucking just like kind of like get my save spot going here, and I really don't want to be, carrying all this shit around because you got to get so far before you unlock all the chick who upgrades you, and then the shops and this and that.
Right.
And like I'm literally like right outside the boss. I've gotten up to essentially the first boss or whatever.
Okay.
In the palace, but then I quit playing because it was playing for too long. And but it's beautiful, it's great, it's dark, it's Demon Souls, not Dark Souls. I would say Dark Souls is easier because of the bonfires.
So then wait, how does like the saving and stuff work in
you
Demon
still
Souls?
have the ability to warp back to the Nexus. I forget what they call
Okay.
the freaking. It's like they look like the bonfires, but they're not a bonfire. They're this teleporting stone thing. Like the name is just totally escaping me. But basically, the way it kind of works in Demon Souls is the levels are very vertical and overlapping and intertwining.
Yep.
And it's not like you have to play the whole level every time to get to the boss. So like, say you die at the boss and then you got to redo it all again and all the enemies respawn again. You unlock shortcuts.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you're
like Dark
unlocking the
Souls
shortcuts, and then
Bloodborne
eventually
stuff,
you get
sure.
to a point where you've like mastered and navigated the level up to the boss.
Sure.
That if you do die, you just have a small jaunt with maybe just a few enemies.
Okay.
Some areas are a little not exactly like that, but for the most part, it's not as difficult to get to the boss after you've opened all the shortcuts, right?
Sure.
So I guess that's where the bonfires came in the Dark Souls games was like, hey, let's do this instead, as well as the shortcuts.
Right. So it's like the shortcuts, but then along the way of playing,
little
to
save
get to
points,
the shortcuts
fast
and stuff,
travel
there's
save
little
points.
short points.
Yeah,
Right.
because in Demon Souls you essentially have the start of the level and then one at the boss, like after you beat the boss, not like at the boss. After you win the fight and beat the boss, then you'll get another one. And then that's stage 1-1, and then stage 1-2. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
But they're so that's I forgot about that. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Right. Whereas like Dark Souls and like Neo and those games, they have essentially the bonfire system, which allows you to at least kind of
like you have some
creep
tough
forward.
battles. Yeah,
That's the thing with them, right? Is you creep forward because like in Neo, that's the whole thing. Is like you're slowly working your way. You die, you're back to the bonfire. Then you work your way a little bit further, and then you die, and you're back. And and then the whole idea is to try and get to that next bonfire.
You get better, and then you get to the next one. Yeah. So I
Interesting.
haven't died yet, besides to the demon at the start that you're supposed to die to, unless you're like a fucking god at this game. Apparently, there's videos of guys beating that dude.
Really?
I walked in the room and I dodged, and then I was stuck in a corner, and then he just fucking one-shotted me. And I'm like, God damn it. Like, I didn't even get to hit him once.
Wow.
But that's kind of, like everyone says, the real Demon Soul starts now.
Right.
So it's a beautiful upgrade. It plays great. Like, it's silky smooth. The visuals are fantastic. But at the end of the day, it's still Demon Souls. So if you didn't like it the first time, ain't nothing gonna change.
Right.
Unless you're like a graphics whore and you just like you'll be like, okay, well, I'll give in it to it this time because it looks fucking amazing.
Right.
But it's still the tough ass freaking Demon Souls that we all love and remember. And it's one of these things. It's just a lot of it is patience.
Mm-hmm.
Not biting off more than they can chew, taking on a couple enemies at a time, crowd control, and just being very aware of your surroundings
And,
when you're fighting, so you don't roll off a cliff or stupid shit hits you from behind. But if you go slow and calculated, it's not that it's not that difficult. And then you die because you got a little overconfident, and you're like, oh, getting a little cocky, and
Or
then
you
all
met
of
a
a sudden
boss.
3 guys jump on you, 3 minions, and you're dead.
Sure.
But
Or you meet a boss and he.
well, you're gonna die at the bosses. That's just what it
Right.
is. But
Sure.
I'm really enjoying it. I want to play more. I really like those types of games. I never beat Demon Souls. I got very far in the original Demon Souls.
Okay.
Um, on a side note, it made me want to play Dark Souls 3 because I was quite far in that game as well. And
But you didn't beat
I just installed it and launched it just to see how it ran. I'm like, ooh, it runs nice and smooth. Not that I remember it running bad, but it. I was
Yeah, Digital
expecting it
Foundry
to.
guys, they Demon Souls 3 runs a silky smooth 60 now
I
on
was
PS5.
I was expecting it to look a lot better than it did, and I'm like, that's how just freaking nice Demon Souls looks. I guess
Yeah.
because Dark Souls 3 was last year, maybe the year. It's not that old of a game, so
No,
it should.
it's
Should have
2017.
some pretty nice. It had some. I remember it looking pretty nice in sections. It might just be the area that I'm in was just kind of crappy looking, but
2016.
yeah, still not that
So
old.
Dark Souls 3.
So yeah, Demon Souls, beautiful, but punishing. You know what it's all about. There's no surprise. Again,
Right.
if you didn't like it before, nothing's going to change now, unless you really want to see those pretty graphics.
And that's I'm torn. I've been watching the videos. I kind of want to see those pretty graphics, but
Yeah.
I can't bring myself like I don't want to spend the $80 or whatever it is, $84 to
Yeah.
see the pretty
Well,
graphics.
$89.
Right.
I will say if you buy it digitally, you don't pay taxes. So save $10 versus buying it retail. But then you can't trade it in or lend it to your friends.
This is true.
So
This is
that's
true.
save $10 or be able to lend it to people. Also played some Bugsnax with my daughter, of all people.
I hear that game's real weird.
It is weird. You didn't play it?
I did not.
It's a first person puzzle game. I wouldn't say it's a Pokemon game because the only thing it shares in common with Pokemon is you do capture creatures,
Sure.
but you don't like enslave them and make them battle each other.
No, you feed them to people.
You feed them to the people in is it Snacksville? What's the name of the
'Cause they want those bug snacks.
I can't remember the name of the stupid town.
I'm pretty sure it's Snacksville. That
Something-
sounds really familiar. I feel
something
like
like
another
that.
podcast I was talking to.
You're a journalist trying to check out or figure out this mystery on this island and the inhabitants of it. And the person who invited you has gone missing. And
Right.
basically, it's a bunch of little missions and puzzles of you trying to get everyone to come back to the village, which they've abandoned. And most of it involves you feeding them bug snacks. The bug snacks are creatures, bugs that are alive, consisting of fruit. You've got a strawbee or a bunger or what are some of the names?
So
There's a
is
bunch
this
of
a
names.
food though? Like, isn't there like, is it all fruit or is it like food?
No, it's food and fruit. Like the bunger
Right.
is it's like a hamburger spider.
Right.
Or maybe it's more like a hamburger boar, 6-legged hamburger boar, because it has like curly fry legs, but it has like curly fry kind of like tusks as well. And it just walks around, and you've probably heard of the bunger. I guess it's everyone's
Yeah.
because it's just like bunger, 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 bunger as it's walking
They
around.
do the Pokemon thing, right? Where they talk by saying their name over and
Yeah,
over.
that's kind of like the Pokemon kind of thing. And people, the creatures are attracted to different things. You have a trap which you set down, and straws are like really stupid. They just go in a circle. You have like a camera like item that you use to highlight enemies, and it gives you information. Not enemies, bug snacks, and it gives you information about them. And then you can see their paths that they walk on.
Sure.
And some of them are as simple as you put the trap in their way. You move out of the way so you don't startle them, and then you flip the trap and you catch them.
Okay.
Some of them are more involved that they see your trap, they run away, or some of them attack your trap. Some of them need to be knocked out. You also get a slingshot, and there's plants that grow ketchup packets, and there's plants that grow chocolate, and Some of it is like
Apples,
corralling.
snacks have like likes and dislikes
Yeah,
and stuff.
exactly. They have
Okay.
likes and dislikes. You use ketchup or chocolate to lure them or lead them into certain areas. You put ketchup on stuff to make them crash into each other, and then they're knocked out, and then you can just basically walk up and pick them up. And
Right.
meanwhile, you're doing all these requests for the inhabitants of Snacktooth Island. And
Snacktooth Island.
yeah, they're grumpuses is I guess the race of bean is what they are.
Okay.
And yeah, when you give them food,
Puzzle game, then.
pardon?
It's like a cross between a Pokemon Snap and a puzzle game. It sounds like.
Yeah, pretty much. I would say that's a pretty good assessment of the game. It's basically figuring out puzzles, doing what the P-Town people want you to do, and then figuring out the trick to capturing.
So how
know,
are you
the
enjoying
Bugsnax.
it? Is it good?
It's not bad. It's fun. It's totally serviceable. It's like a solid 7. It's just a good video game. My
Sure.
daughter's entertained watching it. She loves telling me to go get the pineapple guy, because she doesn't know the names, but she recognizes the fruit or whatever. And then I gotta figure out how to get the fucking pineapple guy. And I'm like, I don't know how to get the fucking pineapple guy. He's underground. Like, but then I'm like, oh yeah, the hint system, PlayStation hint system tells me how to catch him. Like, fucking A. Save the day.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, it's neat. It's a neat game. It's just a good game, and it's part of PlayStation Plus. Again, no excuse not to play it. It's basically.
Well, see, that's the thing. I added it to my account. I just hadn't. I don't know. Like
I probably wouldn't have played it, but then I was like, my daughter was watching me play Astro, and then we went on the cross meet whatever the hell command center, and I'm like, what do you think about this game? And she's like, oh, that looks neat. Let's play it. So we played it, and she was pretty entertained, and I'm like, oh, I'll keep going.
Sweet.
For some reason, no one ever. I think either I miss everyone saying it, or lots of people forget to just say that it's like a first-person game. Like, I didn't expect it to be first-person. I thought it would be like a third-person game.
Right.
But yeah, you nailed it though. Pokemon Snap Puzzler, catching Bugsnax, doing missions for the residents of Snacksville. 7 out of 10.
I've heard it goes to some wild places.
Yes, apparently there's a point of no return, and that's the part where you should stop playing with kids. So there is some kind of messed up. Well, something's messed up. You're eating creatures and turning your legs into hot dogs and French fries and weird. Something's already fucked up right off the bat.
So the people, when you feed them the snacks, they like those snacks. Like they become the snacks, right? Like that's
So I have a feeling, my guess, and I don't know what it is. And if you don't want to listen, fast forward like 30 seconds.
Well,
my suspicion is there's going to be a giant bug snack that just eats all of them because they're going to look like Bugsnax with all the Bugsnax limbs.
Oh, that would be weird.
Maybe that's what happens. I don't know.
Isle of Dr. Bugsnax.
Yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah, at some point I'm going to have to stop playing with her. I don't know. I heard I think you might get an option. It's like, this is just no point of return. You know how some of the games do that? The no point of return?
Make sure to finish everything you're working on because you're not going to be able to come back to this when you're done. Yeah.
So it's okay.
Right.
I also played some Call of Duty Cold War.
So did I.
Ooh, cool. How fancy.
I know. I've been playing the single player.
Yes, I've been playing the campaign. I fucked around with some multiplayer.
Computer.
Yeah, PC provided by Activision. Thank you, Activision. Yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
Yeah, like what a mouthful.
Black Ops campaign, 80s setting.
And 70s and 60s.
That's true. Yeah, you go to Vietnam.
Yeah, you bounce all over the place.
Yeah, all over the world. It's a little bit of James Bond mixed in.
Right? Like it's like, well, that's the thing. It's like it's very much a Black Ops campaign. So like if you've never, there's some actual, there's some choices to be made. There's some mystery that's going on. It's the whole Cold War in this game. So like things take place, like you said. There's one of the missions where you go back to Vietnam. So you're sort of quote unquote remembering what happened. So you go back to Vietnam and you get to kind of play through the memory. There's a neat system in this game where you're collecting evidence in
In
the
the
mission
levels,
that
yeah.
you're doing, and then you can actually use that evidence to like break the code or to find stuff in some of the side missions.
Yeah.
So there's some of these side missions. Like one of them was pretty involved. I'm not gonna lie. I had one. I managed to get all the evidence, and then I had to like break a code. And I was like, I literally had a fucking pen and paper out, and I was like writing shit down and like trying to figure out what the code was. Like, and then I finally got the code, and then I could do the mission that allowed me, and like it was neat. I'm really liking it. Same engine as Modern Warfare from last year.
Is it?
Yeah, it's the same. Like, I mean, obviously, like modified or whatever, but it's essentially the same. It's their engine. Um, it's I don't know. Obviously, I don't think it runs quite as well. At least on my machine, it doesn't run as well as it did, like as well as last year's did. But I suspect
That's where I was thinking, and I'm like, this can't be the same engine because it just feels a tiny bit different. It feels different, but
no, it does feel a little different. But I'm like 99% sure it's the Call of Duty engine, the one that they've like built up for
Modern Warfare, I feel like, mind you, I'm playing like everything's cranked. It detected to turn everything up on my machine. Ray tracing is on ultra even, like, and I haven't turned on the FPS counter, but it's super smooth. Like it plays perfect. But
see, that's funny. I was getting a really weird like micro stutter every so often. Like I was playing and like I was like literally watching my GPU. It would be like at 100% because like I'm playing the game, and then all of a sudden it would stutter in game, and I could see my GPU would like drop from 100 to like 85, and then back to 100,
weird.
and then 85, and then back to 100. Like it was like this weird. So
Maybe
I did
it's
some
just a driver
online,
thing or a bug or something.
I made a couple changes to the INI file, and once I did that, it's been smooth ever since.
Yeah. So even though I'm playing
good.
it with everything cranked, I'm like, I don't feel like it looks better than last year's game.
I don't know that it looks better than last year's game either, honestly.
I remember last year's game, like the night mission when you go into the house, and I was like, fuck, this looks fucking amazing. Like I remember being blown away, and this one definitely looks good and plays good, and I'm just like, it's it's a Call of Duty game. It looks pretty awesome, but I'm not like, oh my god.
Modern Warfare since last year all the time.
Yeah.
So
I don't mind the variety of the levels. The levels are quite varied with the time hopping. Also, the different locales, like you're all over the place. Yep. Some neat things going on there. Yeah, I'm not having a bad time. I wouldn't say it's freaking amazing, but it's definitely pretty decent.
No, I mean it's a Call of Duty campaign. I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
I'll probably finish it this weekend. I don't believe it's super long because
that's the thing. Some of the levels do feel like they're not that long. I have noticed. I don't know if it's bugged out or what, but I find that with the camera, you're supposed to be able to tag enemies. That just doesn't fucking work.
It's really slow. You got to really zoom in.
No, dude, I zoom in on a guy and I'll follow him around the level for like a minute, and then he just doesn't tag. And I'm like, well, that's fucking stupid. But then the first time when they introduced that mechanic to you, all the enemies turned red.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, you had to hover on them for a second or two.
Yep, but then they turn red.
Then they turn red, and it's like, okay, this is useful for like trying to stealth. And that same level that they introduced that functionality to you, there was a point, no matter what I did, there was always a point where, and it must have been scripted, that's like, oh yeah, fuck it, you're not doing stealth anymore. These enemies are always gonna burst out of the door here, regardless of what you do, because some invisible like tripwire or something.
Yeah, I mean it's possible. It could have just
so it was kind of confusing. So like, because it didn't matter which way I went, didn't matter if no one saw me. There was a part where 3 guys would burst out of a door, and it's like, okay, well, I guess gotta fucking shoot everybody. But I'm like, I want to stealth through this whole section. Like, what the fuck?
Huh? Interesting. We'll have to talk after. No spoilers. But
yeah, it might have been bugged because, to be honest,
it's like I don't. That or I had already gone loud. I don't know.
It might. Yeah, it might have bugged out on me, because I'll say one thing: I can't tag any enemies anymore at all in any of the later levels, which I pull the camera out in. So it's like, maybe it's just a bug I'm experiencing. But yeah, it's an all right campaign. I don't mind the characters, and
Yeah,
I can tell I don't like it as much as last year's game campaign wise, but
I mean, this is different. This is different. This has a very much a 70s spy movie feel
which
to
is
it.
cool.
Yeah,
Like I don't
but
mind it.
fun, like more of like did you ever see that movie Spy Game with
Yes.
Brad Pitt
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
this has a
I
very
think
much
they were really good with the main your
this feel
Adler. I
that.
really feel like Brad Pitt fucking vibes to that character, like big time.
Yeah, it yeah,
Like
it's
yeah,
def-
absolutely.
um, Robert Redford is who he feels like to
Oh
me.
yeah, you know what? You're right. But
Yeah, Adler feels like they fucking like they were like, hey, Robert Redford in Spy Game, let's make him, let's put
yes,
him in the
okay.
game.
Never mind.
That is like fucking who Adler is, pretty
I was
much.
getting Brad Pitt confused with him.
Yeah,
Very, very different. But yeah, you nailed
but
it.
it makes me want to watch that movie now. So,
Yeah,
like,
it's fun. The multiplayer, I want to try zombies. I've had some
yeah,
fun.
see, I didn't even install the multiplayer, so I haven't. I'll probably install it after.
I had
Check
some
it out.
fun with Teacup playing zombies in the past.
Yeah,
Um, so I might want to check that out. I don't care for the regular multiplayer. I like the Infinity Ward one better. And then Warzone just basically launches. Actually, when you launch Warzone, it just kicks you out of the game and launches you into Modern Warfare's Warzone.
yeah, because Warzone is a standalone thing now,
But it's
right?
funny that it would, but it's not standalone because it's part of Modern Warfare. So the funny thing is that it has to kick you out of Cold War to launch it. It's like it's kind of unglamorous, and it actually crashed the first time I tried doing that because I just wanted to see like, okay, what did I get out of Cold War? Because I think we got a bunch of guns as part of the release version or something, and I just wanted to see how that worked. But it's like, well, Warzone crashed and. Now I don't really want to fucking launch it again. So it's not bad. It's your popcorn, you know.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the single player.
Yeah.
I'm really liking it a lot.
7 out of 10. It might be an 8 out of 10 by the time I'm done.
No, that's fair. I'll like I said, I'll once I finish the single player, I'll try some.
7 is a good game. 7 is a game that you're gonna enjoy, that you should play. It's a good video game. It's a go down to Blockbuster. Fuck, some of these kids probably don't even know what the fuck Blockbuster is. Go down to the library and get the free loaner copy of the game, whatever. Borrow it from your buddy.
There you go.
Like it's worth a play, but it's not like run out and you have to fucking play it.
Yeah, I have heard that the PlayStation 5 version with the triggers and stuff is rad.
Yeah,
like I've heard like all the guns feel totally different.
I played some Fortnite purposely on PS5 to fuck around with the trigger stuff. It's kind of neat.
I don't know if it's something that you would want to like leave on for
a
multiplayer
game. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Single player, I bet it's fun.
In single player, yeah. In competitive, I could see the novelty wearing
getting tired.
Well, not the fingers being tired, but it's like I need to make this shot now. I don't need that half split second like resistance that like delays my shot. It's like, oh, now I flubbed the shot.
Yeah.
So you played some Bloodborne?
Oh. Excuse me. Yeah, I installed Bloodborne
from the PlayStation Collection. You didn't actually own Bloodborne, did you?
I mean, it at some point was a PlayStation Plus game, anyways. So I had added it to my collection, but I was looking over the games in the PlayStation Collection, and it was there, and I was like, fuck it, I haven't played Bloodborne. I kind of want to play Demon Souls, but I don't know if I want to get my ass kicked all day long. So I'll grab the game that I already own. I hadn't played it before. Like I said, it was, it came out in 2015.
Bloodborne's very different.
It's like it's definitely a Souls game or a Souls-like game, but it's more offensive in some ways.
It's all about being aggressive and parrying. There's no shield. There's no turtling in that game.
Yeah, no, like, totally. I think having played a ton of what's it called there that I was playing? I think that has definitely helped me with some of these Souls type games, because I definitely felt like
you get the play style.
Yeah, like I got in there and I managed to get, like I played for a few hours and I kind of got a feel for the game, if you will. Like, I've got my weapon, like the whole concept of the gun and the the melee, kind of being able to switch back and forth and stuff. You know, it's it it I was that game to me, like, it runs like at a crisp 30.
Yeah, it sucks. I kind
But
of wish
that's
that one
the
was
thing, like,
upgraded.
I didn't realize until I like loaded it up and started playing it. I was like, oh man, this game needs a 60 FPS patch bad. Like it's a locked 30, and it is locked 30.
All the other
But
Souls games are 60, so it's weird that maybe there's just like an update that will come. It would be nice.
I'm surprised that it hasn't already, if it was gonna, though, because like,
Apparently, like modders have made like a 60 FPS patch for it on the existing PlayStation
yeah,
hardware.
on the PlayStation Pro, on the PlayStation 4 Pro, they had released a patch.
I don't know how you even
Apparently
go.
it wasn't, the Pro didn't have enough horsepower to run it at a real 60, so it was kind of like up and like Digital Foundry did a thing, and they were talking about it. But I think that the PS5 obviously would have the capability to do a solid 60. So like that game, I feel like would be really, really suited
especially
for that.
considering it's like meant to be faster and more offensive. Like, so
Right.
the smoothness and responsiveness of the higher frame rate
Yeah.
would do wonders.
It's definitely that whole like soul style, like unlock your, I mean, they're not really bonfires in this, they're like you like the lamps in Bloodborne as you go along.
I can't even remember what they're called.
Yeah, there's like the little lamps that you will come across, and that's kind of what you use to respawn when you die, after you, they're kind of like your fast travel and your respawn points. And then and similar to like Demon Souls or Dark Souls, you as you play through the game, you unlock gates and things like that to get to places faster, so you don't have to run all the way through the guys and things like that. It's real good. I don't know, as much as I want to say like, oh man, I'm gonna totally keep playing this and like beat it or anything. I don't think that
I'd beat Bloodborne. I'm reading on the internet here. It's funny. People are like, "How hard is Bloodborne?" And someone's in here like, or like, I don't know where this.
I mean, it's still hard. It's still a kick in the
Yeah, they're
dick.
like, Bloodborne is often touted about as the hardest games of all time. For that matter, the entire Dark Souls series is banded as some of the hardest games ever. But Bloodborne is often seen as a particularly challenging thanks to its fast-paced combat.
That's so the thing that I'm finding with Bloodborne is like with a Dark Souls, and to a lesser extent Lords of the Fallen, you have a shield, right? So you can definitely, there's those moments in that game where you can pull your shield, and like in Lords of the Fallen, it's, you gotta be careful with the shield because they can still hurt you, and it'll knock you kind of off guard.
Yeah,
if you will.
you can get stunned and so forth.
Yeah, so there are, it's not like you can just shield up and turtle, but whereas in this you don't have that at all. Like you've got, if you get the timing right and they're going in for the attack and you're pulling your gun out, you're going to be able to do that stun on them, which then you're going to be able to do massive amounts of damage. But then even when you do get hit, because of the way that you can regain some of your health, the whole goal is to be aggressive when you so even if you do get hit, you want to be aggressive to attack and try and get that health back, because there's you're not going to get it all back, but there's a potential there to get, say, 80% of the health that you're going to lose back if you're aggressive right away, and you manage to do that within the window, right? One thing I will say that I do wish, and I know that some people will say this is blasphemy or whatever, but one thing I do wish that they would do a little bit better of a job with in these types of games is guiding you a little bit. Yeah. See, I
already knew what you were gonna say.
Just because, like,
they'll never do that.
No, and you know what? And that's the thing. Like, Lords of the Fallen does a great job of, it's not hand holding you, telling you exactly, but it at least you get an idea of where you're supposed to be headed.
The Souls games are a badge of honor, Dane. I was violated by a video game, and I'm still alive. I came out the other side. I beat that bitch. It's a badge of honor. If they do anything to change that, there will be riots in the street. I have beaten Bloodborne. I loved fucking Bloodborne.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm enjoying it a lot. I like it's the same problem that I run into, and I find it for whatever reason, it seems like the From Software games seem to be worse about this, and it's the respecting of my time.
Yeah,
I don't mind.
Well, that's why I was gonna say you shouldn't play Demon Souls.
I don't mind, like I don't mind these types of games. Like I really enjoy them, but playing the same shit over and over, or getting lost somewhere and then dying because I don't fucking know where I'm supposed to, like, do you know what I mean? Like that's where I start to have a difficult time of like I don't
understand. The thing I don't understand is why they don't just like I don't know why they don't add an easy mode to these games so that people could just see the worlds that they've created. Like so like the people that bounce off could just like go through, like story mode.
Sure.
Like, I don't see anything wrong with that, even though I do love these games for their challenge and difficulty, because that's what gets you jumping under your chair like, yes, I fucking did it. Like,
oh, for sure.
That's a great feeling, and you can only have that if something's challenging.
Yep.
It's like beating a raid in Destiny or a raid in any video game, that coordinated success over like a challenging gameplay. Yep. It's cool. It's an awesome feeling when you beat it.
Yeah.
Like when you're
I get it.
And video games have gotten so easy that you don't have that. Like when we were kids, when you beat a level in Mario Brothers, that was like a celebration because you were like single digits old, right? Like you weren't very old.
Yeah.
So
no, for sure. No, and like I said, I get all that. It's mainly where I'm at as a gamer now, is that when I sit down and I play 2 or 3 hours of a game,
you want to make some progress,
but I don't feel like I've made any real progress. That's where it's a problem, right? Like, and that's why I ended up having to stop playing Neo, because like I was 20 some odd hours into that game, and I was only on like the 3rd level or something like that, and it's just like there's 20 of these levels. I'm 20 hours. This is gonna take me 100 hours because I would go in and I would play for an hour or 2 or whatever, but I might still be respawning back to that same fucking campfire that I at so that's anyways.
Bloodborne's good and it's free, so play it.
Yes,
hopefully they patch it to 60 FPS.
I would love a 60 FPS.
You played Uncharted Lost Legacy?
Yes. So I picked this up long ago.
I have this game too, and I never beat it for whatever reason.
So Uncharted 4 is part of the collection right now. So if you have a PlayStation 5, Uncharted 4 is part of the collection. I played through, beat Uncharted 5 or Uncharted 4. Sorry, I picked up Uncharted Lost Legacy. I didn't ever play it though, so I was like, man, like now that PlayStation 5 is here, let's do this. Like, and it is so smooth. And I'm kind of glad I waited now because
is it upgraded? Like I wasn't because they haven't been so clear with like PS5 enhanced or like really getting that information out.
This is just a back compact game. You get the same options as like a PS5 or like a PS4 Pro or whatever. Like there's a performance or whatever. So essentially, like I'm not running it on a 4K TV. So for me, it's 1080p, but it's like a 60, which is nice. It feels really smooth. It looks really good.
Yeah, I remember being pretty game when I started. I think I got about halfway through it on PS4, and then obviously video game. So
I don't think it's super long, like because it's like a I don't want
self-contained story, side story in the Uncharted universe.
Yeah, totally.
It's Chloe and Nadine.
Yes, from Uncharted 4.
Then 2 and 3. I think Nadine's new, but Chloe's been around since I think number 2.
Yeah, Chloe's from this. She came in the second one. This game got me real excited for like. I really, really hope that we see something new and exciting from Naughty Dog. But
that isn't super depressing, like Last of Us.
Yeah, I honestly would love to see them do something else. Like I really like I feel like they kind of did the Uncharted thing. Like I felt like that kind of wrapped up quite a bit with Uncharted 4.
There's going to be more Uncharted.
Like, they left it open, obviously, at the end, and we'll see what kind of that happens with. But and then obviously Lost Legacy kind of came out as a standalone expansion. But and then
It came out
obviously
before
back.
4, right?
No, Lost Legacy came out after.
Did it come out after 4?
Yeah,
Are you
because it's a
sure? Are you
PS4 game.
sure about that?
Uncharted 4 was their debut on the PlayStation 4, and then they came out with Uncharted Lost Legacy afterwards. They only
Really?
released 2 games on the PlayStation 4, dude.
Oh yeah, it is a standalone expansion to Uncharted 4.
Yeah, uses the same engine and stuff.
For some reason, I thought it came out before Uncharted 4. Fuck.
No,
Oh, my timelines are
it's,
all messed
it's
up.
like no, because it's literally what happened. Like Nadine and Chloe, it's talking about like they even reference the shit that happens in Uncharted 4 in that game.
Yeah, shit. I gotta go back and
So,
really play this.
so yeah, so I'm loving the shit out of it. It's great. It's
No,
great
it
to
was awesome when I
back to
played
that
it.
world. But like I said, it's so pretty and it looks incredible just in back compat mode running at 60. I cannot wait
I
to see
think
what Naughty
that's.
Dog does.
I'm gonna say that's gotta be the most understated feature of these new systems is just bringing life or like renewing life in your old games that you may have missed.
So I haven't played a lot of it, but I did load it up and Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh yes,
Holy balls.
yes,
That thing is
yeah,
like a different game.
yeah. It's like a brand new game. I did load that up as well,
Oh,
but I
like,
had to. I screwed up
we're
because I
playing that now.
I didn't download my saves. I
Mm,
forgot to download my saves from the cloud on the PS4 first.
gotcha.
So then I had to go back and do that because I'm like, oh, this is the start of the game. I can't do that. Like I spent so much time on this game.
Yeah.
Oh, god damn it! There's so
So,
many games, man.
yeah, so like but that I couldn't believe. Like I loaded into that and it was just like it was
Yeah,
a smooth 60 and it just
this is
I was
even
like,
just a little.
yes.
Seems a little crisper.
I was playing it on a launch PS4
Yeah,
and that
Jesus,
game
that
was
must have
like
been like day and night difference. Holy shit.
30, 25, 30-ish if I was lucky in some
12.
cases. Yeah, it got rough. Like the frame rate in that game got rough. So yeah, so seeing it now in a beautiful 60, and it's great. So very very excited about that. So I will definitely be finishing Uncharted Lost Legacy. Um and yeah, and hopefully I'll get Miles Morales sorted
Yeah, I'm
soon.
gonna.
I
I might
really
have.
want to I really want to finish that because it was so good. It was like I said, I don't know. I want to finish it on PS5, but shit, I just
I'm.
want to finish it
I
because
might
that
have to
game's
buckle and
good.
buy it on PS5. Buy Miles on PS5. But like I said, I have so much stuff to play right now. It's.
I know.
I
I
played some
know.
more Destiny. It's better. I still love Destiny though,
Like
but
an addict. You
it's
sound
still
like an
it's
addict.
still
Like,
some of the it's still some of their
no.
dirty tricks though. It's so much grinding. Like they patched out. There's been all kinds of exploits that have popped up. Like on day one, there was like a power level which I took advantage of. Of course, they fixed that right away. There's some other exploit, so people were getting drops really easily. They fucking patched that instantly.
Right.
Broken features, broken guns, other issues. They fucking don't even touch them. But when it comes to you working the system and getting leveled up fast or getting gear easily without like crying into your lap with the difficulty of some of the challenges, no, that
Yeah.
shit can't fly. You can't have anything easy in this game and make it work for it. So they patch that shit out right away. But oh, bugs, oh, yeah, well, whatever. Other
Right.
shit. So it's kind of disappointing. But some of the content after you beat the campaign is all right. I've literally barely scratched the new season started, and I've barely scratched the surface of what that kind of content is with with
Okay.
Aldrin being back and all that stuff. But
I've decided I'm just gonna wait for it to become free for me on Game Pass.
yeah, did they
Year.
say it's coming to the PC version of Game
Yeah,
Pass?
they've said it's coming to Game Pass on PC
Oh
sometime
yeah, they
next year.
said early next year. Yeah, I did
And I'm
pay
like,
for
I
it,
don't have
which
to pay for that shit. I'll just fucking play it for free.
some of the new guns are really good. I got some good guns. Like I'm having a lot of fun just playing it because I'm using different weapons. Like I'm using grenade launchers. I'm using a hand cannon that literally doesn't run out of ammo because of a perk on it. It keeps like
Huh.
reloading ammo back into the chamber when you like headshot enemies. So I just like I don't run out of bullets. This is pretty awesome. It's like this gun is broken. but
For now, until they patch it out.
yeah. So I'm having fun with it. I am a little disappointed because I do feel like I just see the same stuff they do over and over again with like just cheating content and assets and just it's the Bungie recipe, and then making everything super fucking grindy. And it's like, but it feels so good killing everything, so we're suckers for it. Moving along.
Yep. There you go.
Pew pew pew. That was your week in Destiny. News. The news. Steam beta adds support for PS5 DualSense controller. This comes from Eurogamer. I kind of just put it in here. This is from Wesley Yen Poole to bring up the fact that hopefully we get native support on the DualSense because it's so fucking awesome. And I really want to play as many games as possible with it. So here's fingers crossed that somehow they get all the haptic shit working in, the PC versions of PlayStation console games or whatever. Like the trigger stuff. Like that would be really cool.
That's the thing where I think it's a bummer for me because like we're gonna get the controller support or whatever, which is great, but I don't think that we're like all those cool features. I don't know how many of those are going to get supported at the end of the day.
Like
you know
the
what I mean?
triggers and all the haptic stuff. Yeah, it's like
are the things that have to support those. And like I guess the developers, if they're releasing their games on PC,
it's in COD. It's in the it's in Valhalla. Like it's in Watch Dogs. So it's like it's in those games.
Right, but they would have to enable it for the PC side of it, right?
That's it. It's just a matter of getting it on the proper drivers and maybe Sony supporting it, which would fingers crossed because the DualSense is so good. I would love to also use it on my. I would also love to use it and get those features on my PC when I'm playing some PC games.
Yeah. That said, the Xbox Series X controller is already supported, so
they didn't fucking add anything. So. I will say the Series X controller, and I did say it last week, it does feel nice. I do like it. The stock one with the textured grips. It is a very good controller. Yeah. I wonder if they're going to do a new version and ape. Like, the DualSense is so good. It's like, how everyone aped Nintendo in the Rumble Pack? Because that's what this is. Right. This is the next generation of the Rumble, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And everyone stole that from Nintendo because, like, let's remember N64 Rumble Pack. This is where this started. Oh my god, it vibrates when you shoot guns, it vibrates when you crash. But it was an all or nothing.
When I played that back with GoldenEye and shit, man.
And it was pretty awesome. And then, Xbox and PlayStation, they all aped that functionality, to get us where we are today.
I mean, hell, do you remember like PlayStation added on the dual analog sticks when 64 came out?
And this is
shit. This is,
And to be honest, this is an evolution of the rumble triggers that Xbox had, like in the Xbox One.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the rumble triggers outside of Forza, I don't feel like I ever really
a lot of people really supported them very well for whatever reason, but this is clearly an evolution of that.
Oh, for sure.
So I wonder if we're going to get a Xbox controller version 2 that will do something similar. I wouldn't be surprised because it is such a good feature. It's just one of those things that, I guess Nintendo tried doing it with the HD Rumble.
HD Rumble.
But it wasn't quite as effective, obviously, because the Joy-Cons are much smaller controllers, obviously, and there's so much you can work with. As good as the Joy-Cons are, because they are the most amazing controller ever invented. Yeah, they're not. They're fucking terrible. They're just they're serviceable.
They're
a controller.
Yeah.
So anyway, maybe they'll do. I would love to see it incorporated on PC. I guess the only way we essentially might get that is if Microsoft does actually ape the functionality in upgraded or like version 2.0 Xbox Series X controllers, but we'll see. CD Projekt Red shows off first footage of Cyberpunk running on the consoles. This story from Matt Wales at Eurogamer. Did you watch this video, Dane?
Yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know, like like I know that it was specific to like this is what the game's gonna look like on console or whatever. I mean, I think that I mean I'm well one I'm probably gonna play it on PC, so that's a bit of a moot point for me. But
Yeah.
also like, for me, I was like watching it and I was kind of like, well, yeah, I mean, it looks really good. Like obviously the concern is that this is a next gen, or a current gen game, and everybody on the last gen is kind of worried like, how's this going to run on my PS4? How's this going to run on my Xbox One or whatever? And I think that this is showing off like, yeah, it's still gonna, we're not really sure how it's going to run yet, but at least it'll look pretty good still, even on the last gen consoles.
They
And
were
all
showing it
going
on a
on.
One X, which is, let's be honest, the most powerful last gen console.
Yeah,
I don't.
so
They didn't show it on a Xbox One or a stock PS4,
no,
which
and I mean they showed off like the Series X with
Series
ray
X
tracing.
version looks nice.
Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, that's a game that's one day going to come out. I think maybe. I think it's still supposed to.
December
Uh,
10th, my friend. I might
that's
play. I might play it on Series X because I
that's
have it
it's
on. I have it on Xbox, so I might actually play it on Series X on the big screen.
yeah. So yeah, like for me, I'll be picking it up on PC anyways, just because mouse and keyboard for that
Yeah,
is
well, fingers crossed. We should hopefully get review copies eventually,
um
which will most
yeah,
likely be PC because that'll be the easiest code to get, I assume.
hopefully dare to dream.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Oh, it's
The word
exciting. I
is
mean,
it's going to
cool that
support cross save.
yeah, which wouldn't surprise me at all because I mean they're already supporting cross save with The Witcher 3 and stuff. So I
Yeah,
mean you
actually, even like the Ubisoft stuff has it too.
yeah
Like with Valhalla, I jumped in on the Xbox and I had my PC saved. Though I'm kind of annoyed because I swear I got the ultimate versions on both, but for some reason I don't have the barbarian armor on the X Series X version,
huh
and that's the armor that I like totally upgraded on the PC version. So it's I'm like, oh, well, this is fucking annoying. Like, I really upgraded this armor and had a ton of runes and stuff that aren't here. But this is where I am in the game.
right.
So I was kind of like a little annoyed. So I don't know if it's just because I got to go download that content on the Series X or what.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
Uh, so yeah, so it's cool to see this thing running on something other than an insane $8,000 computer.
yes. I do just appreciate just this whole cross-play, cross-save stuff that's just seems to be getting pretty standardized. It's so nice.
It's definitely getting better
Yeah.
and better.
It is only gonna get better, right?
Yeah.
This next story from GameIndustry.biz by Brendan Sinclair. Some sad gaming industry news. US Gamer staff is laid off. Site's editor in chief and last three writers confirmed they're being made redundant at the end of the year. Reed Pop, funny enough, the guys who run PAX, is laying off all four remaining staff at US Gamer. US Gamer editor-in-chief Kat Bailey, news editor Eric Van Allen, staff writer Nadia Oxford, and reporter Matthew Olson all separately announced on Twitter today they will no longer work for the site at the end of the year. The US Gamer team was 9 people earlier this year, but parent company Reed Pop, in brackets, which also owns GameIndustry.biz, oh goddamn, instituted a round of layoffs across its gamer network sites, including US Gamer in September, and subsequent departures have cut the team down to 4.
Doesn't Reed Pop own
They own a bunch of gaming media site stuff. I think they own Eurogamer as well.
yeah, I was gonna say I thought they own Eurogamer.
Eurogamer, PAX, EGX. Is that the UK PAX?
Yeah.
Yeah, they own a lot of shit. I'm not gonna lie. From my inside baseball experience, there's this is a tricky one. It's like I feel like there is and there isn't a lot of money in games media. I feel like the big boys are sucking up all the oxygen in the room, and the little scraps that are left over for all the smaller sites
I mean, I feel like
it's
this
a tough
has been
go,
a
man.
bit of
Like
a
with
challenge for a long time because of the way that the changes to internet, like just getting money on your website.
well, yeah,
Like
it's like people
there
with
was
ad
a time
blockers.
you need
It's
10 million, views a month to make any
yeah,
money.
like the ad industry has gone through online has gone through a huge like adpocalypse, thanks PewDiePie. So a lot of money that was in the realm, the ad realm has like dried up, or
Yeah,
it's
and it's
moved
also
or it's moved elsewhere,
Twitch
or
or YouTube or whatever.
or a lot of brands and gaming companies are just like doing the whole influencer, influencer PR scenario. Like it's more effective to have your hand up the puppet's ass and control everything they say than allow free media to criticize you and question you and not control the message 100%. So I feel like a lot of support for a lot of media sites as well isn't as good. Influencers get everything. They get all kinds of, fat paychecks to talk about games. They don't have the same journalistic integrity, and they also get all the eyeballs. So then you got the guys doing the real work and the grunt work on the ground, and it's like, well, we're not PewDiePie and we're not Pokemani and we're not all these
But I mean,
other, you know what I mean? And it's
it,
shifted too. Less people
yeah,
are reading. They're fucking idiots. They want to watch videos. They want instant
yeah.
access. They like,
I
oh,
mean,
I
even
don't want to read this story.
like so we've seen obviously in the last while, obviously IGN is still huge, GameSpot's
Yeah.
still huge.
And
They're
they will always be huge.
right. And that's a huge portion. But then you've also got, Polygon, I think is still quite large, and there's a few other ones. But I mean, I even look at the way Giant Bomb, since they started, they used to have a ton of print stuff. They would write reviews and they would do a ton of stuff like that, previews and things. That rarely happens anymore. Almost all of their content has moved to video, like
Mm.
almost all of it now.
And that being
And I think
said,
that's just what is happening in games is anymore. Like people don't want to look at screenshots; they want to see it in action.
they want to see personalities as opposed to just like, bylines and writers' names. Like we know all of them from going through news stories. And that's
Sure.
the sad part. A lot of these sites feed the podcasts, they feed the IGNs, they feed the Kotakus, they feed the Circle, because like it's never like the news. Rarely the news comes from a lot of these big sites, and they actually come from the smaller sites where
No, I mean, a
journalists
lot of
are
news comes from the press release that gets sent to somebody at
yeah,
these sites,
like
and they're the ones that just
yeah,
regurgitate.
journalists who are doing journalism, but then their story is an IGN, which gets 1 million clicks. And then in the bottom of the story, it says, blah, blah, blah from US Gamer or blah, blah, blah from whatever site, right? But no one ever clicks through and goes to the site where the story came from. But IGN got 1 million clicks and they made the ad revenue and they can afford the 50 staff.
Sure.
And the guys who actually did that, it's a bigger problem and it's unfortunate. And
That's the internet. I mean,
it's kind of like the print days going to online, and now online print media going to video. They're not going to be the first. They're not going to be the last.
No, and I
Literally,
mean,
it's one day we're going to wake up and it's going to be Twitch and streamers, IGN, and someone else.
well, GameSpot isn't going anywhere.
And someone else. And then the European ones that we aren't really exposed to. But, like, they have their versions of IGN, in different countries as well. But, like, it's getting tough for this.
Japan, it's called IGN UK. It's called IGN
It's getting tough for the little guy, man. Like, you got to think about it. 4 people making a living wage, like, I'm 50,000 a year is not enough money to be doing a job online, because you're not necessarily living in inexpensive. Some of them might have been living in inexpensive cities, but like even if you did, say they all lived somewhere that because this is remote work, you could literally live anywhere. So let's say they did make 50,000 a year each. Right off the bat, and they wouldn't, because the editor in chief's going to make more. Let's say that payroll right there without costs is minimum $250,000.
Yeah.
To make $250,000 on penny fractions of a cent click-through rates on ads, the amount of traffic, if you don't have Patreon, if you don't have like a very huge or successful Twitch or YouTube channel is gonna be an uphill battle. And when you're part of and it works for some of these sites because they're part of a bigger group like Reed Pop or CBS or whatever. But then when the bean counters get, further down the pole and go, wait a minute, we're paying 9 writers $500,000 or up to $1 million in salaries, and they're not bringing in the clicks that we need. Guess what? It goes bye-bye.
So here's the thing, though. So I'm looking
and it sucks.
This is the shitty thing. US gamers going away because they're quote unquote redundant. But I'm looking right here. So we're talking about their, Reed Pop owns. I'm looking at a list: Eurogamer, GameIndustry.biz, Nintendo Life, Pure Xbox, Push Square, Rock Paper Shotgun, and VG247 and VGC are all owned by them. So you got to think to yourself, and EGX. So there's a lot of overlap there. You got
tons of overlap.
Obviously the Nintendo, Push Square, and Pure Xbox, those are the specific sites or whatever. But you got to kind of wonder, if you were to, outside of Eurogamer, because I think that having
Eurogamer is probably one of the most safe ones on that list of sites you said.
But all of those other ones, you could put them all together. You know what I mean? That's partly what makes IGN and GameSpot so big, is the fact that they put all that content together on one place.
Yeah.
They don't try to split it up into 12 different websites.
So as a whole, your numbers are better.
Right. And it allows you to saturate better, right?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's just part of it's the new media evolving landscape.
Yeah.
There's going to be, I'll tell you right now, there's going to be no little websites. There's going to be enthusiasts like me and Dane who are dedicated and love to do what we do.
When we started, so before we started podcasting every week, what were we doing? We were a little website. If you go to our site, we were the guys getting the press releases. We were putting up the stories. We were trying to be relevant. But that's the thing, is we realized at a certain point that it's almost impossible for us to be quote unquote relevant when we both have full-time jobs, and you have, we get the same press releases as the guys at IGN and GameSpot and stuff, but they have an entire staff that's regurgitating and spitting out stories,
the exact same stories.
Get up 4 stories, looking at the things that I feel are quote unquote relevant in a day. They put up 15 or 20 in the same time. Yeah. And so then the question becomes why are people going to come look at my little story? You know what I mean? To get my, I don't even want to say hot take, because it's
our quips, our personality, sure. But it's
but you know what I mean, right?
We got to a point where it's this is too much time. We're not seeing enough return on the time investment. So it's right. We pulled the plug.
Sure. And we decided it was more beneficial to us and our use of time to do the podcast, which allowed us to hopefully, get together, nerd out, give our takes, and be relevant in our own way versus attempting to do
what IGN and everyone else does.
Right. And I gotta look at this list of sites, and I gotta kind of think to myself, they have to have thought, the people at the top, they have to have thought look, we can axe these 4 bodies because we still have Pure Xbox, Push Square.
I'm going to be honest, it's not going to be the first cuts. I would not want to be working at any website where I didn't do anything that was also video. And if I was doing video at any of these websites, if I wasn't doing the biggest number drawing video, I would be wary about my security in that position like crazy, with the nature of how cutthroat it is. And competitive. It's a little
different if you're at a place like, say, Kotaku, which has got more of a blog style where people go there to kind of
do a lot more video. And Kotaku is part of a big media group as well.
Sure.
And one day the bells will come a ringing. Why do you think people like Jason and the higher ups like Brian Crescente and Jason and these guys always leave the smaller places to want to go work for the Bloombergs and the Rolling Stones? because they know the little guys ain't going to be around forever, and they're looking for career jobs and like little blog sites. They're fun for a while, and it's awesome getting all the video games for free. But when you want to own a house and raise a family and do like have a grown-up life, you can't live in a 1-bedroom apartment with 3 roommates and grow up. Like, it's awesome and it's fun.
It has to do with like, you know, saying that you ran the gaming for Rolling Stone or whatever also has some cachet to it as well.
Of course. Like, but guess what? There's one Rolling Stone. There's one Bloomberg. There's one IGN. There's only so many jobs for you to be the head honcho at a big name-dropping media company, because they're shrinking. They're joining. As well. It sucks. It sucks, and it's not going to be the first. It's not going to be the last. Hopefully, that's the thing. It's like, hopefully they'll land on their feet. One door closes, one opens, and it's like, well, I think more in this industry, to be honest, I think more doors are closing than opening. Kind of like the newspaper business.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, there's an opening at Giant Bomb right now, so.
Shit, I gotta apply. Moving to New York. I'm out of here.
There's actually a couple openings over there right now.
I love New York. New York's so awesome. Moving along.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla had the biggest release week in franchise history. Holy shit, that's impressive.
Oh, look, this story from VG247
by Stephanie Nunley. Yeah, and to be honest, this is a regurgitation of a press release which was in our mailbox.
Absolutely.
That we got the day that this went up on every website, because the story was on IGN, the story was on Kotaku. You name the website, you saw this story.
Sure.
So you know, whatever. It is what it is.
I know.
We know this news cycle, and we understand that it's the same shit everywhere, because everyone just, to be honest, that's why I always make fun of, like, if you see me on the podcast, but more on Twitter, and sometimes when I'm doing some of my more harsh takes, and I like laugh about games journalism, because to me, I think games journalism for the most part is a huge fucking joke, because the majority of every site and so many writers are just PR regurgitation mouthpieces. And that's essentially what we do on this podcast, you know. Sure. But we also give our hot takes. We don't just put a story out with no context, because most stories on websites, there's no context. It's just it's a press release rewritten everywhere. Yep. Everyone does it. So
hey man, you gotta get the news out to the people, right?
That's why we laugh, you know. And that's also where I feel like some of these sites are being victims of a lot of the brands and companies like Ubisoft and some of the other guys have been growing their YouTube and their social media, that they've been getting the message directly to their biggest fans as well, right? So that doesn't help either. Yeah. Because you're competing with, you know, getting the words straight from the horse's mouth, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So anyway, Assassin's Creed. Top-selling Ubisoft is also the top-selling Ubisoft PC launch title ever.
Wow.
Man, I wouldn't have expected this. For some reason, I was going to think it was going to be an off year. I'm really liking Valhalla. I guess it's part of it's tied in pretty close with the new console launches. It's a pretty established franchise. Everyone loved Odyssey. I think for the most part, it was pretty well received.
Also, like, let's be honest, there hasn't been a big game release in a while.
Yeah, there was a little lull between October and the start of November.
Since its release, players have covered more than 4 million kilometers and have unlocked more than 55 million buildings since launch. Wow. It's interesting. They're saying it's really big, but they didn't give any actual numbers as far as like, we've sold more than 5 million, or they didn't give anything like that.
I'm sure if you go back and look, I'm sure there's press releases of how big the other ones have done. You could maybe figure it out.
Yeah, maybe. Obviously, it's available on everything right now, as well as Stadia, Amazon Luna.
I kind of bring it up because I honestly was surprised. I didn't think it was going to be that big. I don't know why. For some reason, I was thinking maybe because my excitement was kind of mixed in or dulled with the launch of the new systems. It's like, oh yeah, there's a new AC game, but I was more like PS5, Series X, but you need something to play on it. And this is like, you know, missing like, you know, so on Xbox.
A lot of the like new console pictures and stuff that I've seen, like especially towards, for whatever reason, I don't, and I don't know if I assume that this has more to do with there wasn't as well, there wasn't any first party stuff that launched alongside the Xbox Series X, but like I remember seeing a ton of videos and photos from people like, hey, I got my new Xbox, hey, I got my new PlayStation, and a lot of those people also had Valhalla. So like it's definitely one of those games that a
Yeah.
lot of people were like, I want to play that on the new
Hyped
console.
for and benefited with it tying in with the console launch.
For sure, for sure.
And a lot of people get their free upgrades when they can eventually buy their Series X or PlayStation 5. It's one of those that's
There you go.
smart delivery. Well, like that's the thing. Like Ubisoft gave me the code for it on Xbox. Like they
Right.
didn't give me a Series X specific code. They just gave me an
Yeah.
Xbox code.
Right,
It's
because
like,
they knew it'll just
and
smart deliver up
it's
or
like,
down.
well, you
whatever
just get the Series X version.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. I heard people complaining about the performance on the Series. Apparently, the PlayStation 5 version is smoother than the Series X version. Digital Foundry was doing videos on, and
Interesting.
apparently it has some really bad tearing. I didn't notice. I don't have tearing on mine. Like, I wonder if it's a TV thing. Like maybe.
I mean, I'm sure it's probably got something to do with that.
Yeah, because the tearing's usually the refresh rate not being able to keep up. But like, I wonder if there's more to that. But Digital Foundry is pretty sure they don't have shitty equipment, so they noticed it and they noted it and they said that like the PS. I don't know. They go deep dive and compare the console versions.
Hard on it.
But I don't know. I've been playing it on the Series X a little bit more since PC, just because I wanted something to play on my Xbox, right?
Right.
The same reason most people are probably buying it.
There you go.
I got to justify having this refrigerator console in my office. Yep. And I don't know. I didn't get the tearing, and it plays like fantastic. So it's just weird.
Yeah. I'm playing it on PC, so I've had to turn a few things down to try and adjust this and adjust that and stuff.
Maybe we'll get to that.
But
maybe there'll be a solution for that for you soon.
Well, maybe.
Apple. Next story, also from Eurogamer. Apple is halving. How do you say that? Why is it so hard for me to say this stupid word?
I don't know. They're cutting their app store fees.
You didn't even try, you son of a bitch.
Apple is halving their app store fees for vast majority of developers.
Why is that weird?
I don't know.
It's correct, but the V kind of fucks me up for some reason. They're cutting the fees in half for anyone who doesn't make $1 million in a year. So small devs are going to see a bump to their bottom line.
So they're only going to get charged 15%. So Apple a 15%.
So basically, they did this as a big fuck you to fucking Epic and Fortnite.
Well, this isn't so much a fuck you. This is a lot more, I think, this is a shrewd move to
get all the little guys on their side.
No, it's a shrewd move to make sure that they're not going to get fucked by the government trying to cut them up. I think that this is totally one of those, like, it wouldn't surprise me at all if somebody like them and their lawyers and some people got together, because Fortnite and Epic and their whole thing aside, like, they've got the government looking down heavily on them right now, going like, are they or aren't they a monopoly, and do we need to split them up, or what's that going to look like? So I think that this is definitely a response to that, where they're trying to kind of get some good or some more good grace, and look like they're trying to do something to not just bone
take everybody. Some of the ammo out of Epic's case.
Oh, totally. So
obviously we got a long way before that got settled, but that was a pretty unexpected move, that's for sure.
And I mean, it's funny because it still obviously doesn't change anything for Epic.
No, and the big guys.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's a great move for the small guys. Obviously, I think that's a great.
Let's be honest, like the 30%, it's too much, man. It's too much. When retailers are selling your shit for maybe, if they're fucking lucky, 10% profit, but then you charge people on your platform 30%. Well, if you're going to charge them 30%, why don't you give your retailers that resell your fucking products 30%? Sell your phones and sell your laptops and sell your earbuds and all your bullshit. No. You're lucky if you get 10. some products, electronic products, high-end tech products, you've got like single-digit profit, which makes some selling some stuff like risky and potentially like loss,
Ask
money.
Best Buy how much money they make off of selling
Yeah.
PlayStation 5s or Xbox Series X's.
Yeah, well, when I ran video game stores, it's the razor blade handle conundrum, right?
Yep.
We're selling these $500 systems.
You're not
Sometimes
making
we were
any money.
losing money just to sell them because you need to sell the kid the PlayStation to buy the controller, which makes $20, or the game that makes 10 or $15. But the
Yep.
stuff they keep coming back for, because you only buy one system, but you buy dozens of games, and
That's why they
right,
always try to put the accessories so hard, right?
yeah. So it's like,
Buy the charging pad.
and I'm pretty sure that's the exact same thing nowadays with consoles too. I don't think it's changed at all. I'm sure Microsoft or Sony and Xbox make their profits, but
Especially
I'm
not.
pretty sure
So,
the retailers still have a hard time making profit on consoles.
but I know the last time I talked to somebody that was running retail for video games, they were saying like their margins on selling games is also incredibly tiny.
They were bad when
Like,
I left.
making like $4 a game or something like
So
that.
I
Brand new.
used to run a mom and grop shop chain of video game stores. We had 3 stores. I think
Yeah.
at our height we had 3 stores. I managed all of them, and we at our best was making $15 a game.
Yeah,
In
and
the
that was a long time ago.
This was in the mid 90s.
Yeah.
Or late 90s, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
mid 90s to late 90s. I quit in 2000.
Sure.
That's when the EBs started popping up and the Walmarts were getting into video games. And that's when profits got down to like $2 or $3 a game.
Yeah. So when like that was the thing when I was talking to I used to go to a smaller video game store by my old house. They're no longer there anymore. But I remember when I was talking to them, brand new games they were making $4.
Yeah, so like on a $60 investment, $4 is not a lot.
No,
It's not a lot of
especially,
profit.
like, you know,
And a lot
when
of time you had to pay for shipping. Like
Yep.
it wasn't back then. Like the distributor and Nintendo is not Amazon.
no.
They're not they're sending you the games with razor thin profits. Plus, you had to pay for the shipping, and you had to pay for express shipping because you needed the shit on release day. So you were paying for expensive ass shipping. So
Yeah.
like it really sometimes cut into the profit. And if you bought a bad
One-
game
One.
and you bought a bad game that didn't sell or bombed,
Well, and that's
Ugh.
why so many of these stores turned into like, this is why EB and GameStop and stuff like that turned so heavily into the used game market.
well, that
right?
was our savings grace. We rented games and we traded and we sold. We specialized in selling used games, and I give you $1 and I sell it for 20.
Yeah.
We were a lot better than EB Games. Fucking crooks. We gave reasonable, but still.
Yeah, well, you got to make money, right?
We
You-
got
you
it
still-
exactly. Like we're not going to give you fucking top dollar. But we didn't fucking also rob you blind.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, Fortnite introduces. Speaking of Epic and Apple, Fortnite introduces in-game video chat via House Party. Woo! This story from IGN by Jonathan Dornbush. Fortnite's introducing the ability to video chat with your friends in-game via the Epic Games owned social app House. I don't want to install another fucking app, so I won't be fucking using this. The feature to begin to roll out House Party app users on iOS and Android will be compatible at launch when playing Fortnite on PC, PS5, and PS4. Epic and House Party have said, should any more platforms be supported, they will announce so in the future. House Party, which already lets friends video chat within the app, just needs to be connected to your Epic Games account, and doing so will earn players the Rainbow Fog wrap. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to install this. I mean, what?
You have to install it now because you're going to want that Rainbow Fog wrap.
Fucking Rainbow Fog wrap. Once linked, players can follow the following steps to easily enable video chat. No, I'm not going to go through the fucking chat. So basically, you use the video from your phone, and then it gets beamed into the game, basically, from your Android phone.
Yeah, it looks like it puts it up on like.
So I thought it was like a webcam thing. This is very different than what I initially thought it was.
Yeah, it's something. I mean, they're
Players
trying to
will
get
have a Fortnite themed virtual background.
There you go.
I already suck enough at Fortnite. If I see people's ugly faces, I'm probably gonna be even worse.
Well, you just got to download it to get your rap, dude.
I guess I'll just try it for science sake.
There you go. The people, they want to know.
I really was expecting it to be like through like the webcams, not through your cell phones. That's weird. Neat, I guess.
There's an app for that, bro.
Yeah, there is an app for that. Game Awards 2020 nominees have been announced. Spotlights: The Last of Us Part 2, Hades, and Animal Crossing. This story from VentureBeat Games Beat by Mike Minotti. I saw the clips on Twitch on Jeff's fleets or fleeks.
Yeah.
Or flicks. What the fuck do they call it? They added stories to fucking Twitter.
Yeah, we were talking about the somebody posted a full list in our Discord earlier. We were talking about it.
I missed that. Yeah, he had little 10-second clips announcing all the names on Twitter.
Yeah. So I mean, here are the nominees for Game of the Year: Animal Crossing: New Horizons, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and The Last of Us Part 2
for Game of the Year.
For Game of the Year. I was a little surprised about Doom Eternal, to be honest.
Yeah,
and not like
that's like, okay, you guys are stretching here. Like, seriously.
So Jedi Fallen Order could have been in there because it missed last year, and honestly,
just like Cyberpunk's missing this year.
You know, like and Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Miles must have missed the cut.
No, it didn't, because it's nominated in some other ones. It had to have not. Yeah, like, it's kind of weird to me.
That's fucked up. That game is so much better than Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is quite actually disappointing, and like, it's a good game, and only the most hardcore Doom people are happy with it. But most people don't.
Compared to Doom 2016.
Yeah, most people don't speak of it as highly as the last Doom.
Yeah. So that was kind of my surprise as well. The rest of these all kind of make sense to me.
Yeah, I think this list is wrong. Jeff, you got it wrong. You're fired. You're not Canadian anymore. Stay down there.
I do find it interesting that 3 out of these games were exclusive to PlayStation.
Yeah.
Which kind of telling as to the type of year that Sony's had. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, and The Last of Us Part 2.
It's either Animal Crossing or Last of Us Part 2 for me so far. But man, any one of those is pretty good.
Yeah, we also didn't finish Final Fantasy VII Remake, so.
No, I didn't, but I really liked it. But it's not Game of the Year material for me. Otherwise, I would have beaten it. Ghost of Tsushima was awesome. Tsushima. He says it with a hard T when he was saying it in his announcements videos. I'm like, that sounds weird.
Yeah, So,
Hades is fantastic, fucking too. Like, all these games are fantastic, except for Doom. I don't think Doom belongs there, fucking at all.
Honestly,
Animal
my Game of the Year, which is probably Miles Morales, isn't on here.
Yeah,
so.
I haven't even played Miles, but with how good Spider-Man is, I know it probably deserves to be on there.
Yeah,
Animal Crossing is pretty dope. I've played way too much. I haven't played it lately, but I've played a lot of that fucking game.
Oh. So, anyways, you can check out the full list. It's on their website.
Yeah, the link's here. It'll be embedded in the show notes. Again, if you're new and you've never heard this show before, excuse me, while I try not to burp. I should mention that in housekeeping or at the top of the show that I embed all the stories and notes and videos and links in the podcast feed. So then you just click that button in your podcast player and boom, you can see the video, you can see the story, you can get more information, you can get the links. Yeah, every podcast I do that. It takes me, an extra couple seconds to do that. But if it's like, hey, I want to look into that. Hey, I want to download that thing. Check out the podcast feed. The links are embedded there. But check out the nominee list for yourself. Dane.
Yeah.
Try not to go on for like ever on this next story because we know how much you like to ramble about tech and how fucking nerdy you can be, a PC nerd.
I don't know what you're talking about.
This next story also from GamesBeat by Jeff Grubby Grub. AMD Radeon RX 6800 Radeon RX 6800 XT and 6800 reviews are out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think VentureBeat's fucking review is anything special. It just was in my feed, and the first one that I copied and pasted to put in our new outline for you to talk about.
Honestly, their reviews kind of shitty.
They're not super tech guys, so
5 games.
it's more of a reminder of the new cards are here. Dane, what's the lowdown? Are they the second coming of Christ? Are they the savior?
I will say, like, I think that this boils down to a few things. So, kind of similar to what I said before, I said that these look like they have the potential to be incredibly fast, but I was always concerned about what does their ray tracing performance going to look like. This is their first kick at the can, and it honestly looks very similar to what I kind of expected. So they're fast as hell. The 6800 XT is very much trade blows with the 3080 in a variety of situations. It looks like the 3080, funny enough, tends to be slightly faster at 4K, depending on the games and the benchmarks. But funny enough, the 6800 XT seems to be faster at 1440p, which is kind of interesting. Usually that's not the case.
And by faster, we're talking like these numbers are so close.
Oh yes, like, in some cases, they are like we're talking like 1 or 2 frames.
Yeah, it's like a single digit, maybe 10 frame difference.
Yeah, and sometimes it's 10. So like we're seeing, I believe, who was it? One of the reviews I read earlier, the average. It was funny. So at 4K, the average speed, I think it was 4%, or across a 16 game like spread for the 3080, but then it was 8% faster at 1440p, which was interesting. They hypothesized that they think that it has something to do with the Radeon's Infinity cache that allows them not to be as CPU limited at 1440p. But then, of course, it's just pure performance at 4K, which, like, because they're not CPU limited at all at 4K. So yeah, so the long and short of it is the 6800 XT. It's $50 cheaper than the 3080. It has 16 gigs of RAM, and in most games, it's as fast or faster. When you do, until you turn on ray tracing, that's where the 3080 tends to be faster. The other challenge here is that most of the games that we're able to actually test with ray tracing, like there's a ton of ray tracing games that have been optimized or specifically set up for the RTX cards. So they use like NVIDIA's proprietary ray tracing tech and not the open source like Microsoft DirectX ray tracing. So obviously in those cases you can't test the 6800 XT against those because it's using NVIDIA's tech.
It's like the same cars driving on 2 different roads.
Yeah, exactly, right. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm really curious to see what this kind of looks like in a few months.
I'm disappointed we didn't get to see the 6900 numbers.
Not yet. That comes out in a couple weeks. December 8th, right?
I will say, from all the benchmarks and stories I read,
yep,
I'm still happy about owning a 3080.
No, absolutely.
But I'm also really happy that these cards are fantastic too, and they're a little less expensive, and you might actually be able to buy one. We'll see.
So today they sold out instantly.
Oh, like, okay, fuck it. Never mind. AMD, get fucked.
so hold on. So this is a little bit of a weird situation because they released their reference cards today. So
their founders editions, basically.
Well, kind of. They don't do a founders edition. They essentially create a reference design, and then they all get produced by one company, and then they're allowed to all the other companies essentially slap their name on it. So right now, all the cards that are the AMD or the Gigabyte or the MSI,
I saw them on some of the sites. They all look identical.
They're all identical. They're all made by Sapphire. So like that's exactly what's happening. AMD has said as much. They said like yes, all the reference designs are being made by Sapphire. So right now, those cards are all at a premium. They sold out virtually instantly today. The thing is that third-party cards don't come out till next week. I've heard through the grapevine that there is more supply of those third-party cards for next week. So hopefully that will help. That said, of course, we are seeing unprecedented freaking demand for all these cards. So I expect them all to sell out instantly.
Yeah, these numbers are pretty impressive. So I don't know. I might buy a 6900 because it should have better specs than a 3800 than a 3080.
So like I said, I think that overall, I think the card is killer.
Yeah.
I think depending on how much you weigh ray tracing is kind of going to depend. Like if
but
you
that's
really
one of those things that's going to get better in time anyway, right? It's still a relatively new implemented feature. Like ray tracing in Watch Dogs Legion. Like let's be honest, Watch Dogs Legions is not exactly the most optimized engine. So it's like these cards are not getting the best frame rate because the engine is pretty shitty.
Yeah, there's lots of different like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like straight up in the different there are a few different like ray tracing benchmarks, and like we are seeing that this is AMD's first kick at the can. It's from what I've seen so far, the ray tracing performance, like pure ray tracing performance, in the 6800 XT seems to be a little bit better than the 2080 Ti.
Yeah. And
so I mean, it's still usable. You're not going to want to use it at 4K. I'll say that right now.
But it doesn't mean it can't be usable in time with when they get their implementations of their version of DLSS and updates to games and updates to drivers. This stuff gets better.
Yep. So like when NVIDIA released the 20 series cards 2 years ago in 2018,
they're trash.
They talked about like, hey, ray tracing is here and we are going to implement this thing called DLSS later. And the following year they released it around March of the following year, and then of course like that has gone on to become a real game changer because it really allows ray tracing to be usable with DLSS.
Yeah, like, that's a big reason I didn't go from a 1080 to a 20 series is because I'm like, well, you can't use ray tracing, so what's the point to spend like this fuck ton of money for a feature you can't use?
Yep. So the thing is here is that we're seeing crazy great performance out of the card regardless. Funny enough, it actually runs cooler and runs less power than the 3080 does, which is cool. So it's maxing out at 300 watts versus 320 and 340 for the 3080, which is great. Like that's fantastic. So that's really exciting. The 6800 vanilla, as I'll call it, the non-XT version, it pretty much, from what I've seen across the board, it's faster than a 3070, hands down. It's faster. Again, not including ray tracing. The ray tracing performance on the 3070 is very similar to it is that second gen ray tracing, right? And they do have DLSS, so all that stuff still stands.
Yeah.
That said, the performance on that 6800, it's a faster card, but it's also more money than the 3070, right? But you're also getting twice the RAM. You're getting 16 gigs.
And in time, we'll see that stuff get taken advantage of, or the marriage of the new AMD Zen 3s and those CPUs as well.
Yep.
It's a good out of the gate impression for sure.
The most exciting part of this for me is looking at all this. Like I said in our Discord earlier, I said if both of these cards were exactly the same price, like the 6800 and the 3080, if they were both the same price and they were actually at MSRP, I would totally, if the opportunity arose, I would, and I was in the market, I would probably buy a 3080. That said, what I've seen so far, at least, and again, who knows what this is going to look like in even a fucking month from now. But right now, listings for both cards, I'm actually seeing 6800 XTs listed at $850 Canadian.
Yeah, I've seen them too.
Which is actually essentially MSRP versus what I'm, once you do the conversion from the American price over to Canadian.
There's no 30 series cards that are under $1,000.
And that's the thing. So it suddenly doesn't become a can I buy a 30 series card for, what I should actually be buying it for, which is around $900. Uh, They're all fucking $1,000, $1,100.
With taxes, I don't think you can get it in Canada. You can get a 3080 for. They're all barely under $1,200.
The cheapest one I saw earlier, and of course they're not in stock anywhere, so it's a moot point. But the cheapest I saw when I did a quick search like earlier, Memory Express had one for $969. So like even after I do the conversion on the American,
but you can't buy it. You can't buy it.
Yeah. But again, I'm just talking like so. The problem is
that's what the U.S. conversion should be.
When I do the conversion over, that card should be like $920.
Oh, that one should be even less.
And so they're adding like a significant chunk onto that.
Yeah.
And like so that's the thing, right? So suddenly it's not $50, it's like $100 or $150 or even $200 difference. So now for me, there's that's different, right? And so that's a situation where to me, looking at all the numbers and looking at everything else, I think at least for me,
for single digit frames, is it worth $400?
Well, not only that, but guess what? I'm running 1440p. So for me,
and can I buy one in the first place?
6800 XT is actually a faster card for me because I run it at 1440p.
Yeah, I'm really interested in seeing the 6900, especially considering I'm on the wait list for 5950 as well.
Yeah. So like I said, either way, I'm excited. It pretty much was exactly the types of performance that I expected to see.
Nice
it was
to see some competition.
I look forward to seeing obviously what's going to happen on their second gen with their next gen with ray tracing. It's like all that shit. This
is the whole reason the 3080s weren't $1,500.
Yeah, because they knew that he was going to be coming out with something, right?
So this competition is welcomed because Nvidia was getting up on their fucking bullshit and dragging the prices into the stratosphere. Like that was the biggest. Like if you were an owner of a 2080 or a 2080 Ti, you must just feel your ass must be sore.
Not necessarily,
but those cards are expensive.
If you bought that card at the beginning, I don't think that you've used that card for 2.5 years now.
But then it's like, but you didn't get the performance that these cards are at, and these ones are even cheaper.
Sure, but it's
that's because there was no competition. They dragged the prices up. That's why we pay $1,700 for fucking high-end flagship cell phones.
Yeah,
because they just, when there's no competition, they just drag it up, and then everyone's like, oh, I guess we'll do it too.
Sure. And if the market accepts it and moves on, then that's also the problem, right? So it's cool. It's exciting. I think that if I was in the market for a 3070, I would honestly look long and hard at a 6800 vanilla instead.
Yeah,
because I think honestly that is a really killer deal. I will be in the next while. I will be keeping an eye on supply and demand and seeing
Dane's what's gonna need a video card for Christmas.
No, my Christmas present was my PS5, so this will probably be next year sometime.
Dane's getting a new video card for Easter Bunny present.
Maybe.
Moving along. This next story from IGN by Joe Scrubbles. Sony introduced their first update to the PS5. System update to improve performance. Ooh.
868 megs, baby.
Yeah, that's about it. This system software update improves system performance.
No idea what it did, but it installed. It told me it installed. So
people have been having bugs with both systems. Like, let's be fair.
Yeah.
I've had my Xbox, crash. I've had my Xbox made terrible fucking noises when installing games. And some people had like terrible instances of where they have to essentially factory reset their PS5 because of a download bug. I don't know. I've been putting my system in rest because I'm like, whatever. No one knows why or what causes it. So, But maybe this fix that. Who knows? This is not going to be the first and last. The PlayStation and the Series X had they had updates like freaking monthly, if not weekly. The two systems and being launch consoles, like this is a welcome thing. Please update performance and stability. Like we don't want our launch systems bricking. We don't want to have to deal with our console not being usable. So
Yep.
that's a good thing. It'd be nice if they fucking said exactly what they did. I hate the cryptic system performance, system stability.
I
Because
would
then
love
it's
to.
like, well, did that fix my issue? Well, fuck
know.
it. You
I'd
know?
love to see an actual bug log and like what are they actually fixing,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Nintendo Switch is in a blazing sales place for 2020. Everyone's super excited about the new consoles, but man, Nintendo's kicking some butt here. This story from GamesBeat, and once again from Jeffy Grub Grub. Nintendo Switch was the best-selling console in the United States for the 23rd month in a row. Jesus.
Yep.
I didn't realize they were that gangbusters.
Oh yeah.
Pretty sure they're not going to be the top one in November.
Dude, you weren't even able to get a hold of one for
Yeah,
months.
they've been.
Like they were sold out
forgot.
to the point you thought that was like a new console launch or something
I
ridiculous.
forgot to post the photo on our Discord, but I meant to. But I was at a Best Buy returning something, and they literally had like a Animal Crossing like fort, like of the Animal Crossing Switch systems. Like they had,
Right.
I don't know, dozens, if not 100 of them, just stacked up. I'm like, holy crap. Anyway, according to NPD Group, this helped push the total hardware sales up despite the drooping performance of what are now the last gen consoles from Microsoft and Sony. But Switch isn't just performing well compared to the outgoing PS4 and Xbox One. It's on near record sales pace. Year-to-date sales of the Switch hardware are second highest of any platform in U.S. history. NPD analyst Matt Piscatella said. It's trailing only the 2008 year-to-date dollar sales of Nintendo Wii. Or like back on the Wii success train.
Ugh.
It's guessing.
Weird, though, too, because like this seems very similar to the Wii, where the Wii sold like gangbusters but had no games.
And this is on a gangbusters and has games.
It has games, but this year's been strange because outside of Animal Crossing, what else have I played on my Switch this year? Fucking nothing.
Fortnite?
No. But like you get my point, right? Like it's weird. Like
it's been a low year for Nintendo's flagship titles. We got some Mario, but those were remasters. Yeah, Animal Crossing has been the biggest game of the year. Fuck, that game apparently has been like one of the biggest selling games for Nintendo.
Mentioned that Paper Mario came out this year as well, which I did.
Forgot about that. We got the new Pokemon expansion.
But you know what I mean, right? Like
no, I know exactly what you mean. It's Animal Crossing in that mainstream catching up, or it's also affordable and portable.
Yeah, portable, and it's portable, and people are stuck at home, and they're like, "This is great."
And the Switch is awesome. The Joy-Cons, not so much, but the Switch is awesome.
I know at least 2 people that don't generally buy video games. They bought Switches. So, you know.
Congratulations to Nintendo for just killing it.
Yeah.
When you think they're down and out for the count with the Wii U, it's like, oh no, are we going to have a Nintendo? Or are they going to end up making games for other people? Are they going to stop making hardware? And then they come back with the Switch and fucking, they're like, what's up?
I heard an insane number that apparently in Japan, the Switch has got something like 80% of the video game console market right now. I didn't realize like in Japan, it has completely demolished anything and everything. Like I didn't realize how abysmal the PlayStation 4 sold in Japan this last generation. Like they only sold like 12 million PlayStation 4s in Japan.
Well, man, the Switch is definitely
like, yeah, like I would never have guessed that.
Wait until that new Monster Hunter game comes out.
Yeah. Oh, geez. I didn't even think about that.
Animal Crossing Winter Update is out. Brings save transfers, new events, some quality of life improvements, new reactions, hairstyles, expanded storage, and more will also be added. What's that?
And snow.
This story from IGN by Adam Bankhurst. The Winter Update will bring in with it Turkey Day, Toy Day, save transfers, more hairstyles and options, and much more. The new free update will arrive on November 19th. I saw people on Twitter posting that it's already out. So that's the 18th today.
It's going to be enough for me to get back into Animal Crossing, but
I did the Halloween stuff with my daughter. We were running around trick or treating, and she was picking all the flowers.
oh, that's
That
cool.
was kind of fun. I got some of the Halloween stuff.
Yeah,
I'll take part in Toy Day. Who doesn't like toys?
I like toys.
Daddy's Collectibles.
Yeah.
Turkey Day will take place on November 26th. First class chef Franklin will arrive to host a gathering in the plaza. Help Franklin by gathering ingredients to make a delicious meal. And will even receive a gift as a thank you. Is it weird that a turkey's like technically kind of cooking like turkey dinner? But I guess they're not eating turkey in Animal Crossing.
There you go.
Toy Day. When's Toy Day? Toy Day will follow December 24th, like Christmas Eve.
That makes sense.
Animal Crossing is great.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm not arguing that.
You're going to have to check this out. What do we got next? Xbox news. Microsoft wants Bethesda games to either... Sorry, stupid pop-up blocking my shit. Wants Bethesda games to be either first or better or best on its platforms. This story from Eurogamer by Matt Wales.
Okay, hold on a second. How is this shit still fucking news? Microsoft bought Bethesda. Like, I just want to put it out here right now. If anybody thinks that new games coming out from Bethesda aren't gonna launch exclusively on fucking Microsoft platforms, you're fucking crazy. Everybody keeps making these stories, and this is another one, saying like, oh, well, he's offering assurances that Microsoft has no intention of just pulling all of the Bethesda content out of Sony or Microsoft. Well, obviously, you're not going to pull all the shit that's already on there, but that also doesn't mean you're going to be putting anything new on there, because why the fuck would you? You don't spend $7.5 billion on this acquisition to not pad your stats to get people to buy your shit, because that's the only place they can play it.
The reason these stories exist, Dane, is because of stuff like this. Speaking shortly after Microsoft's acquisition of Bethesda, Xbox boss Phil Spencer offered his own take on the issue, telling Kotaku the deal was not done to take games away from another player base like that. Nowhere in the documentation that we put together was how do we keep other players from playing these games. We want more people to be able to play games, not fewer people to be able to play games. So because of that quote, people are alluding that there's still a chance that Bethesda games are not going to be on anything else.
But I'm not talking like, obviously they're not going to pull anything off of existing platforms. That would be fucking stupid. But I don't know what you would be smoking to not think that Microsoft and Bethesda, that's a first party studio now. You don't see fucking Microsoft dropping Forza on PlayStation 5. Why the fuck would they? They need exclusives. You don't spend $7.5 billion to not make that exclusive.
Yeah.
Like,
Basically, the story is based out of Xbox Chief Financial Officer Tim Stewart offered additional clues on Microsoft's future strategy, suggesting Bethesda games will be, like the title says, either first or better or best on its platform. So if they don't go whole hog exclusive, I assume it's going to be a 6 month to a year thing.
I have a very hard time believing that they wouldn't lock that shit down. It'll obviously be on Game Pass.
Yeah, it'll be on PC and Xbox.
On PC
on Game Pass,
on Xbox, but
which just makes being a Game Pass subscriber even more valuable.
Exactly, but I and maybe this is the old man gamer in me, knowing that like growing up, this is what happens. People fucking buy studios, and then those games are now exclusive, and that's just how it works.
I see 6 month to 1 year exclusivity going forward. I still see the games on PlayStation because they make so much money. It's still worthwhile.
Maybe we'll see.
I get the Game Pass subscribers. Either you build up your Game Pass subscription for people playing these games on PC or on Android devices who may not invest in a Series X and still have a PlayStation, and they still buy the game on PlayStation later on, or maybe if they're that impatient, they end up buying an Xbox. So I don't know. I think it's a win-win. They're like you said, they're padding their stats or their fucking deck.
Like, I think we're seeing, I think the
If they,
giant,
in my opinion, I would go exclusive, like you're saying. I would be like, fuck it, fuck you, Sony. We got all the Bethesda shit.
we're in a weird spot where it seems like more and more of these companies are buying up more and more developers, almost a little bit like Netflix and these different companies, where it's becoming a content war. It's like Microsoft is buying up developers and things like that so that they have all of the stuff to put on Game Pass.
Microsoft is the closest thing to
but we're also
the
seeing
Netflix of games.
Amazon now with their Luna thing, like what happens there, right? Now we've got Stadia. So like suddenly what happens? Like these
Sorry, I gotta just fucking laugh.
No, I get it.
Fucking Amazon. I'm sorry.
But my point is that if this down the road, I'm not talking about tomorrow. I'm not even talking about.
I know it's a long game, but
long game is if you're like if you had your catalog. The long game here is that you
absolutely.
Have and it becomes I own these studios, you don't own those studios, so suddenly you want to buy you know what I mean? Like, and there's less and less third-party games because
the second,
the
winning move here for Microsoft is the second the Samsungs and the LGs fucking ship with that Game Pass app built into the TV. And your TV comes with an Xbox controller bundled in the box, and you don't even need a fucking console, and the games play good enough. This is like the old DVD to Blu-ray fucking comparison for the mass market people. Me and you can tell the Blu-ray looks fucking amazing and way better, and the DVD looks like dog shit.
Sure.
But 90% of the market
doesn't care.
They love that dog shit. They lap it up. DVD's good enough. They can't fucking tell. So when you remove the big giant PlayStation 5 fucking or the human killing Series X out of the equation, and you just have it built right in the fucking TV, man, that's the winning play. Sure. That's when you fucking streaming reality is when they really take off.
Then it's even better because suddenly that's the only way you can play.
Is like, hey man, I didn't need you spent $600 on a Series X. You're a fucking idiot. It came with my fucking TV. I'm playing it for free.
Right. Or
which turns into a subscription, which turns into them monetizing you all year long, every month, which is Microsoft's play with Azure, with Office, with all the recurring payment stuff. They don't give a shit about selling you a physical box, which they have to do support for, which they actually have to manufacture, which they have to put billions of dollars of research into. When you just have it streaming through your device directly to you, to your eyeballs, man. You remove all that cost. That's the winning move. People are like, streaming. It's going to be there. People talk shit about Netflix. Blockbuster talked shit about Netflix. Where the fuck is Blockbuster right now?
They gone.
Hey, Blockbuster, how do you feel about it? Oh, wait. I'm talking to a casket. There's nothing to fucking talk to.
Yeah. But like I said, but if this is a play where all the content, are building up their chest of game,
who knows,
like developers and stuff, like if this becomes that war where Microsoft has bought Bethesda and then Sony buys whoever the fuck, and it just becomes
there's not a lot of top tier stuff left to buy per se.
Right. Here's the question that I was thinking to myself the other day, like, if you're Sony, why haven't you picked up, say, Bluehole, for example? Why don't you buy those guys? I think, if memory serves, From Software is owned by Namco Bandai, right?
I have no idea.
Because that was the other one. I was like, how have they not bought From Software yet? That was the other one. I was like, to me there was some real solid, like, like Japanese studios that I feel like would work really well for Sony to buy, but they haven't, and they don't necessarily even seem like they're interested.
No, it looks like From Software is still independent.
Yeah, which like that to me would seem like quite the win for, you know, especially right now with the way that they're like killing it with Sekiro and Dark Souls and, you know, Demon Souls. Like they've been on quite a roll for,
Bloodborne.
um, you know, like if they were to lock that up and have the next Souls game or whatever come, you know, Bloodborne 2, I mean, obviously Bloodborne was an exclusive, but like if Bloodborne 2 is only an exclusive on the PlayStation 5 and so
Yeah.
on, and like that'd be big, right?
Like you nailed it though. It's just a play to pad out their library.
Right. So
And that's
my,
a
you know,
smart play.
going back to our story, I don't see a world where Microsoft pays $7.5 billion to
To
not
do not have them as exclusive.
properly.
I don't think you're wrong. I just think it'll be timed exclusives.
Because if you're gonna do timed exclusives, why wouldn't you just pay for those now? I guarantee you, they could have walked over to Bethesda and said, "We want your shit for timed
Probably because the cost at the it's probably at a point where the cost is so much that it just makes it just
$7.5 billion. There's
it
not
pro-
a world where it would not be cheaper for them to say, "Here's $20 million. Give us timed exclusive for 6 months."
I don't think timed exclusive numbers are that low though, my friend. I think
Okay,
they're a lot more than that. So,
$100 million. Here's $100 million for time exclusive for a year or 6 months.
but maybe it's tricky with Game Pass. Maybe you can't really do a timed exclusive with the Game Pass. And
You absolutely can. Games come and go off Game Pass all the time.
I don't know, dude. Obviously,
That's my point. It's a lot cheaper to do timed exclusives.
Yeah, they could have literally walked up to Bethesda and be like, "Here's $1 billion. All your games are timed exclusives," and not spent $7.
Right. This is my point. Like, so. But anyways, we can move on.
We will see the fruits of this.
This story keeps popping up.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is just the fanboys that are hoping that, like,
it's the Sony fanboys hoping that it doesn't go exclusive and they don't lose out on the next Skyrim or Starfield or whatever the fuck they're working on. Yeah,
I don't see that universe. I don't.
I think you're right, but I think it's timed exclusives. Anyway, this brings us to public service announcements. We've got our free Epic Games for freebies this week. Rolling out. If you're watching us live on Twitch, it's the Texorcist is still free. But if you're listening to us on podcast form on Thursday or later, it is now Elite Dangerous and The World Next Door from November 19th to the 26th. Elite Dangerous is supposed to be pretty good. Space Simmy, crazy shit.
It's pretty wild.
The World Next Door looks all right. It's free games. Don't fucking complain.
There you go.
And that brings us to our free-for-all section. Dane,
a little something.
You caved and you bought the Steel Series 7P.
Yeah, I needed a pair of headphones for my PlayStation 5.
Did you not have console set of headphones? You didn't just use your Steel Series, like with the cord and the controller type thing?
No, I have all my stuff set up here, and my speakers get plugged into the headset and all this, so that when I'm
not taking the dongle, just using the 3.5 millimeter cord.
No, I had a pair of PlayStation Gold headphones, the
dedicated headset,
or the pleather stuff around the ear cups
peeled off, and
every time I'd pull them off my face, I had like all this black shit everywhere.
Yeah, my old ones did that too before I tossed them.
So I needed to get rid of them, and I was playing some PlayStation 5 stuff, and my wife like looked up at me and she's like, "You need headphones because you're driving me crazy listening to Astro's Playroom and Astrobot jumping and."
Oh, you just had it coming through the TV.
And yeah, so she was like, "You need headphones, like
nice
now." And so I was like, "Okay." So I was like, "Well, what can I get?" So I ran over to Best Buy and picked up a pair. They had them in stock, the 7Ps.
Good luck finding them now.
Yeah, the 7Ps don't seem to be a problem. The 7Xs I cannot find anywhere. The only place that I could find the 7Xs seems to be through SteelSeries' own website. Nowhere else in Canada has them.
Do you know their website also has a black set of 7Ps?
Yeah. Did you know that their website also charges $50 in shipping?
Fuck that.
Yeah, that's why I've never bought anything from their website,
What
which
the
really
hell's wrong with them?
I don't fucking know. I've looked at buying keyboards. I've
Man,
looked at buying
Steel Series sucks. They're the
them.
worst.
I love their products, but they're fucking
I'm just
shit.
talking shit because they're delivery fee. I love their headsets. I
Same.
love their keyboard that I have.
I will say 7P is pretty much
It's
identical.
identical. It's just a PlayStation version.
Yep. Um,
It's more expensive, which is just weird.
it has a little USB-C dongle that plugs into the. I've got mine plugged into the front of my PlayStation 5. It just plugs straight into the USB-C port, which is rad. I will say, unfortunately, it's kind of an oblong. It's like wide, so it actually does take up part of that second USB port on the front, which is a bummer. Not an issue for me because I don't have anything else plugged into the front of my PlayStation 5, so I don't really care. But, something to keep in mind. They do also have a like cable that you can use to plug that USB-C dongle in so that, you could in fact plug both things into the bottom there, and that would kind of get around that issue. Sound quality is fantastic. They sound incredible.
They're the same, right? As your sevens.
I think they are, but maybe it's just like
Just
the difference between like PC and console. I don't know.
They're the same drivers and speakers and shit, aren't they?
To my knowledge, like I know
They
that
look identical.
at least according to their website, they are quote unquote like engineered to use the Tempest 3D audio and work with PlayStation, but to my knowledge, they're the same 40 millimeter like drivers in all of them.
They're just single drivers. Like all the 3D stuff in the headphones is all simulated, right?
Yes. That said, they sound awesome. I'm very impressed. I mean, they're already, I think, hands down the most comfortable headphones I've ever used. So they're
the same as your sevens.
Yep. Which is like awesome.
Did they not have the 7P and 7X are new this year? Is that it for the new consoles? They didn't.
Yes,
because they had cheaper. Were the 5s and the 3s more the console versions?
No, the 5s are wired, right? So,
but those are the ones that were more aimed at the consoles, right? Like because the 7 was a PC headset.
They make an Arctis 1, which is aimed heavily at consoles. That's aimed at like Switch and like consoles.
So
and then offer a 3 and a 5, but I believe both of those. I believe they make a 3 Bluetooth, but then the 3 and the 5 are wired, and then the 7. And then they do make a 9, which also has Bluetooth, so you can actually have, like, it can be connected to the dongle as well as a device.
So does the existing 7 work with PC or work with PS5 and the Xbox?
So I know the existing 7s work with PS5. I don't believe they work with Xbox.
Yeah, see, that's the one. I don't mind the Pulse ones. Like they're a nice headset. They're $50 cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely.
They work with the PS5. Like, they're designed for the PS5.
Totally.
But the disappointing thing is they don't work with the Xbox. It's like, fuck off. Like is it the headset blocking it or Microsoft blocking it? Like, that's annoying.
So my understanding is that the Xbox uses that stupid proprietary 2.4 gigahertz stuff.
But when it has a dongle, why does it matter? Because the 7X comes with a dongle, but it works on both.
Right. So the difference with the 7X is that it has there's a switch on the dongle. And the switch on the dongle switches between Xbox and PC.
On the actual Switch itself?
Yeah. So when you switch
on the dongle itself or the headset itself?
The dongle. So when you switch the dongle to PC, that's what allows it to be used on PC and PlayStation. But you have to specifically switch it over to use the dongle for the Xbox because it uses the proprietary stuff for the Xbox.
This is the question I have. That one, yes, you could use it on all 3.
Sure.
I was just thinking, I was looking at the 7X because I was like, oh, well, then I could just swap the dongle between the 2 consoles in the front. Bloop, bloop. And I've got no cords.
Sure. If you can find them.
Pardon?
If you can find them.
Because the other thing I commonly do when I'm playing with my PC, because I like my Arctis 7 so much, is I just plug in the mini plug from the headset right into the controller.
Yep.
Do you still get the 3D effects through the 3.5? Like, does that pulse 3D? I guess I could just fucking go into the 3D settings on the PS5 and test
I'm
that for
not
myself.
sure if it works via like the 3.5.
Or does it have to be through the dongle? Like, after we're done recording, I am gonna test that.
Yeah, test it. I'd be curious. Or I'm sure a quick Google search would answer that question.
I'm gonna test it. I'm not
My
looking
question
it up
is whether or not there's enough bandwidth in the Bluetooth to do that is all.
in the controller with the audio.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is, like I
see.
said, I've been very happy with the 7Ps. The 3D Tempest audio is awesome. They sound fantastic. Make sure, a little tip for anybody out there, whether or not if you've got the Steel Series or any other headphones that you're using with the PlayStation 5 and the Tempest audio, if you go into the settings, you can actually adjust the height of the audio to make sure it's hitting your ears at the right spot.
I had a hard time telling.
Yeah, I was kind of messing up and down just
it
to make
sounded
sure
different when I went to all of them.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a like, okay, this is obviously like centered.
it's centered to my ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went with the middle one, number 3 or whatever.
I felt that one was the closest to like what sounded the most natural for me, so I left it there as well. But it's just nice to know that it's in there. So, yeah, like I said,
Nice.
super.
Well,
super
it's
happy
not
with them.
surprising you're happy with them. They're the same headset we already love on our PCs.
Yep.
This is the most comfortable. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
I can wear, like, when you try, like, you might not believe us. And we don't get free headsets. We're not endorsed or anything. But we've used Astros like crazy at trade shows. We've had Lucids. We've had Logitechs. We've had not Steel Series.
I've had Corsairs and the Razors.
What are the cloud ones?
HyperX.
HyperX. Like, we've tried them all. Razer.
Yeah.
You know, like, I've had, the cup over ear ones. We've had the cloth ones. We've had, I got my Logitech ones here, which I've been meaning to upgrade this setup to start using these ones as opposed to, like, these are so fucking bulky. They get hot. They're all heavy. Your ears sweat. They're like, but then when I no fucking lie, the Steel Series are the hands down most comfortable headset out of all of them. Period. Point blank. They sound amazing, but they're not overly heavy. Like, my ears are sweaty just wearing these fucking Razer ones when we record the show. Like, like, see how red my ears are compared to yours, and like, and the Steel Series ones don't feel like your head doesn't hurt like from having something pressing down on your head from a long gaming session. They're the most comfortable headset, and the bonus is they sound fucking great too.
And the triple bonus is that the battery life on them is killer.
It's pretty good. I wish the microphone sounded a little bit better, but you can't have it all.
Yeah. I mean, you probably can't. I've been hearing some good stuff about some of the other ones now, but like I said, like, these were readily available to me. I knew sort of that the comfort was there.
I was hovering over them when I looked at them, but then it was like the not working with Xbox. When I had I have the Pulse, so like if I'm gonna go from the Pulse, I gotta gain something else as well.
Sure.
And I do like having a dedicated console headset, and then it's like, well, with the Xbox, I usually would just plug the cord in anyway from the controller to the headset. And to be honest, with the PS4, I did that quite often too, because I got to a point where I'm just too lazy to even put on the other headset, and I'm usually on Discord. So the nice thing with playing with the PC headset with the cord to the controller, I'm listening to YouTube videos or streams or whatever on my computer, which is right next to me, and I'm chatting in Discord with the boys. But then I'm like playing the console game and getting my console audio. So anyway. No,
that's fair.
Dean?
I mean, the flip side is like I said, if you can, I don't know what's going on with the 7X, like why I haven't been able to find them. So I don't know if they just haven't released them in stores yet here, or like they're clearly available in the US, but they don't seem to be available in Canada yet. So I don't know what's going on there, but maybe keep an eye out, and that might be a good option. Because yeah, I was honestly like when I started playing Astrobot the other day, when I put them on and I started playing Astrobot, I was seriously just like, holy shit, these sound
Yeah,
awesome. Like
the Pulse sound really good. Like I said, when I was playing Pikmin 3 with the Pulse headset before I had the PS5, I'm like, these sound fucking great.
oh, I will say the 7P also that dongle works with the Switch as well. So
Yeah, it's a sleek. That's another reason I was looking at the 7X and the 7P is it's a slick little dongle
yeah,
that
it's the
like it's a little more.
YBC dongle,
Yeah,
and it just
it's more hidden, like
yeah,
streamlined. So yeah, like you said on the Switch, plug it in the bottom of the Switch,
yep,
and you got wireless headphones with in handheld mode.
yep.
Of course,
Which
that dongle always works. Any USB headset works on the side of the Switch dock as well, which is quite often how I play Switch games, which is kind of nice.
so yeah,
I
so
just
there you go.
hate pulling stuff in and out. I just wish
Yeah,
that
that
just fucking worked.
yeah.
Dare to dream, right?
Dare to dream, my friend. Dare to
And
dream.
it's not like they could just sell you extra dongles because, like, that would seem
You
like
know,
that would.
that's actually. I wonder if you couldn't get the Xbox or the 7X dongles separately.
Like just any of them, like just then have the dongle in your Switch's dock, and then have your dongle. You know what I mean? But like maybe it's just they're
I
paired.
know. I'm gonna quickly take a quick peek here because I know when you go to their website, they generally sell like accessories or whatever.
I've never seen dongles. I don't think you can. I think they're like locked on a one or two channels, or one same channel.
Yeah, that's so funny, man. Literally on their website for the 7X, it's like Xbox Series X, PC, Switch, PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4, Android and Google Stadia. Like it's literally that is the thing that it
No,
like
no, it's in accessories. Arctis 7P USB-C transmitter replacement dongle for the Arctis 7P. $40.
that's not terrible
You
though.
can't actually order it. It just says notify me.
Oh, because they're probably unavailable at the moment. But that's my point though, is it's at least there though.
Arctis One wireless dongle for
Oh,
Xbox
only
USB-C.
for the X. That's only for the Arctis One.
Yeah,
That's different. You'd have to use the actual. Okay, so there's an Xbox. There's the Arctic 7X USB-C transmitter.
same price.
I mean, it says not
But,
compatible with other Arctis models, but I almost wonder, like, could you?
but yeah, could you have more than one? Like, how do you pair it? That's the question.
Yeah, that would be the question. I don't know how it would pair. So, anyways, I'm sure there is a way, but
We're rambling. Dane?
exactly. That's a show.
Oh, but then there's one here. Wireless. There's a generic one here that just says USB-C wireless dongle.
We will
Oh
have
no,
to
but it says
investigate.
Arctis One when you click on it. All right,
Yeah,
Dane. That is an
that's it.
episode 281 in the gigabits and in your ear holes. Thank you everyone for hanging out. If you're in the Twitch chat or in the Twitch stream, thank you for everyone who's downloaded us and listening to us and your podcast player choice, the car, the iPod's even a thing anymore. The iPhone, the Android device, however the fuck you listen to us. Thanks for spending your time with us, episode 281. You can follow me on Twitter at Rick F No K RICF.
You can come hang out with me on Twitter at Dane Cody at DAYNECODY.
Remember to join the Discord, Geekoholics.com/Discord. Tune in every week, Wednesday nights, if you want to see our handsome mugs on the twitch.tv/Geekoholics. Like, follow, subscribe. We're Geekoholics at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube as well. Catch some of our archive stuff if you missed the live stream and you want to see what we look like. Just go to YouTube. There's a bunch of videos of us. There's videos of my Xbox grinding. This should do more video content, but goddamn, it's so hard. Rate and review us everywhere where podcasts are distributed, namely Apple Podcasts and the podcast app. We appreciate reviews. If you haven't left one, please leave us one. And also, if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you've got Twitch Gaming, which is a free subscription every month that you can give to a Twitch streamer of your choice. We'd appreciate it if you gave it to us, but you don't have to. Just use it, give it to someone, because if you don't, it's just wasted. It's more money in Jeff Bezos's pocket. It, like I said, it doesn't auto renew either, so you have to redo it every month.
Gotta pay
Again,
attention.
you don't have to give it to us. Just use it. Know that it's a feature you have. You can subscribe to someone else that you like better than us. I'm not going to be offended. Just use it. But hey, we'd appreciate it if you tossed a coin to your podcasters, Dane and Rico. And yeah, I think that's about it. Until next week, I'm gonna say, Geekoholics.com/contest.
Ho ho.
Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War PlayStation 4. I'll get that up tomorrow at some point. So if it isn't up, just keep checking. Yeah. And with that, I'm going to say we are out.
Bye.
Peace.